question of where are the aliens?
Shelby, you don't fail to think.
Storm in itself, but look at this.
Way, Jimmy.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from a cougar eating Bigfoot's hand to Elon Musk's confession on alien life. Trust me when I say you want to watch today's episode to the very end. Ready? Let's jump right in. Right off the bat, we're starting with the big one. I know I mostly say this, but just like always, I really mean it. Just take a look at this. Unlike anything we've ever shown on the channel, right? Just in case you're wondering, what you're seeing on your screen is a hand that was allegedly getting chewed on by a cougar. From the image, you can tell it's quite large and has a mix of human and ape traits. Now I wonder who we know that has a mix of both human and ape-like features. If you thought Bigfoot, then you're right. The hands were too big to belong to a gorilla, and fun fact, there are no gorillas where this was discovered. That only leaves our big guy in the picture. But you have to wonder, if a cougar was chewing on a Bigfoot's hand, then where is the rest of its body? Well, we aren't entirely sure, but I doubt a cougar is capable of taking down a Bigfoot, unless, of course, it was dying, dead, or injured. Without the rest of its body, we can't really tell what happened, but imagine we had its full body. That will end the debates on the existence of the big guy, but we've got the hand at least, right? Well, as much as I would like to tell you that our photographer took the hand and brought it home, I can't. He left it out in the wild. Why? Well, no one knows. You don't deliberately capture the image of something this peculiar and yet easily transportable and then leave it out in the wild. How else would we prove that the big guy exists, unless, of course, it's fake? You see, I subconsciously said that, and I wouldn't have if he had taken the hand with him. You know what, let's move on to the next clip because, well, at this point, I'm crying over spilled milk.
My phone's on. Hi, doctor. Okay, so, well, make it clear.
Before you conclude this is a furnace of some sort, allow me to chip in that the clip is focused on the night sky. Yes, it's actually being recorded at night. What is it, you ask? Well, I don't know. The lady recording the clip states that it looks like a glowing staircase in the sky. We all know there's no such thing, unless this is the actual stairway to heaven. She uploaded the footage to our paranormal platform seeking answers, but everyone in the community was just as perplexed as she was. Some thought it was a glitch in the Matrix. It seems to me that the glitch theory is becoming mainstream and becoming attributed to a lot of things. Does it fit here? Well, not all thought so. Some thought it had to be the work of Project Bluebeam. You know, the supposed secret government project meant to deceive us by projecting illusions into the sky. Yeah, that one. Some also thought it could be alien, say an alien spacecraft hiding behind a cloud. When I think about all these submissions, there's little evidence here to support what each of them said. However, there's no way we can definitely say it's one or the other. Personally, I'm not really sure what we're looking at. Do you have any ideas? Please share them in the comments section below.
It's just there. I don't know what. I'm trying to block the light.
Everyone knows that during the day we've got the sun giving us light, and during the night we got the moon. But what happens when you spot an unexpected light source in the night sky? Confused? Take a look. You see it, don't you? There's a blue light in the sky that appears to be moving around, almost as though it were a spotlight. Someone placed this in a paranormal group and stated he had seen it multiple times over the course of a few weeks, yet was not sure what it was. Looking at it, many theories came up. The first was that it was a drone or helicopter searching for something, but then again, these things make a considerable amount of noise, and if it were any of them, the young man would have heard and recognized the sound. Unless, of course, it was too high. I doubt that's the case, though. The second theory, which many subscribed to, was it was an alien spaceship in the sky scanning or looking for something. Given how quickly the light source disappeared immediately after a few scans, I'm tempted to side with this theory. What do you think, though? Do you believe we're seeing things that aren't there, or do you see it too? It's not Halloween, right? Yes, it's not. So, how do we explain this clip that was sent to me? A subscriber on this page sent this clip stating that someone they knew captured this creature in their home. The crazy part isn't the way the creature looks. No, they believe it's an interdimensional being. I mean, I don't doubt that there are interdimensional beings out there, but if you asked me, I'll tell you that being this cute and cuddly is the last thing I'd expect a being like this to look like. It does, however, appear to have a menacing look, and perhaps, just maybe, there's a possibility it really is. Maybe it took on this form so it wouldn't be so obvious. Without more information, though, we can't confidentially say what it is and what it's not. What do you guys think, though? I've seen and heard enough things to know that demons are real. Despite the reality of their existence and their nature looking at us straight in the eye, there are some who think and believe that they can play with demonic stuff and get away with it. Take this group of friends, for instance. They were playing with the Ouija board despite the young guy among them not wanting to play. The ladies use their girl charm, and sure enough, he agrees to play one more time. He asks the evil spirit or demon if it's going to harm them.
Stop looking at me. I don't want to do it anymore.
Come on, one more question.
No.
Almost.
Just do one more question, just for the fun of it. Y'all made me stay down there when I wanted.
You're not doing it right now, Shelby. You don't feel the thing moving when you don't see it moving when you lift it up.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Just one more question.
Just one more, you promise.
I promise. Come on.
Just one more. This will be it. I promise. Well, I can't say that because I'm not doing it.
What
But
do you want me to ask?
just ask it if it's gonna harm y'all or if it means harm or something. I don't know.
It's a freaking evil spirit, Shelby. Of course it means harm.
Well, I'm
Just
just
ask it.
saying.
It's
Just
a good
ask
question.
it.
Do you mean us any harm? Ah, no.
They move toward a no and breathe in a sigh of relief, but the demon is not yet done. The thing moves towards the yes itself, and they freak out. Now, we can't confirm if this was staged or not, but something tells me it was not. I know people love to be adventurous, and I'm not against that, but maybe, just maybe, some adventures are too dangerous to go on. If you didn't believe or find the previous clip with the green lights convincing enough to be of alien origin, then perhaps you might want to watch this one. So a man was out driving when he noticed something bright in the sky above him. He looked out and couldn't believe his eyes. It looked like a spacecraft, and he knew you and I wouldn't believe him without video evidence, so he took out his phone and recorded the whole thing. The craft moves ahead of him and then starts to scan the car ahead of him. If you pay attention to the footage, you should see it. There's a green light hitting the roof of the car as though it were scanning for something. After some seconds of doing this, the craft just leaves almost as if it was done with its mission. Could this clip actually be linked to the one I showed you earlier? Share your thoughts. Do you think our planet as a whole, or some parts of it, may be alive? Before you say no, take a look at this one. Doesn't the ground look as though it were breathing? I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. Now, as I've mentioned in our previous videos, our science whiz is out of the studio and wouldn't be back for a few weeks because of the story he's investigating for the channel. Could there be a scientific explanation for this, or am I right in thinking there's gotta be something strange or paranormal going on there? Please share your thoughts on this one because I do find the whole thing perplexing. Old buildings often carry with them a sense of history, sometimes dark and mysterious, which fuels hauntings. In this footage, captured from the security cameras of an old school in Mexico, a security guard shared a chilling encounter he experienced while monitoring the feeds. It was a night like any other, and he was monitoring the cameras when he noticed something unsettling. A strange-looking woman at the entrance of the school seemingly wanting to gain entry. Her haunting, glowing eyes, which seemed to pierce through the camera lens, caught his attention. He went to check at the gate, and to his surprise, there was no one there. Alarmed, he returned to review the footage, and all he had was this being that looked human, yet with an eerie aura about her. So, who was this woman? No one really knows. The possibility of a supernatural encounter cannot be ruled out, given the eerie atmosphere and the mysterious disappearance of the woman. However, skepticism suggests that it could also be a well-executed prank or a trick of the light. What do you think? Could this have been a genuine ghostly encounter, or is there a rational explanation behind the mysterious appearance of the woman with glowing eyes? Imagine sitting outside with your spouse when a UFO casually comes by and abducts a mad scientist. Funny, right? Could never happen in real life. Right? Well, wrong. Watch this. In Minnesota, a couple was outside when they witnessed a truly astonishing sight. A massive UFO descending from the sky and hovering above a particular house. The UFO was hidden in the darkness with only its lights shining through. The couple, understandably shocked by what they saw, captured a picture of the UFO and shared it online, sparking a frenzy of speculation and intrigue. What made this sighting even more curious was the fact that the house the UFO was hovering over reportedly belonged to a military scientist. This detail fueled wild theories, with some suggesting that the scientists may have contact with extraterrestrial beings, or even that the UFO itself could be of military origin, part of a top-secret project. What do you think about this extraordinary sighting? Do you believe that there could be a connection between the military scientist and the UFO, or is there a more rational explanation behind the mysterious encounter? Someone shared our next clip online, claiming he'd captured an alien. Take a look. Here we have a strange-looking alien-like creature that's casually sitting on the ground. Its white and blue skin and striking black eyes add to its otherworldly appearance, leaving viewers wondering and intrigued. Is this real or fake? Well, with today's technological advancements, especially in CGI and AI, we have to consider that there's a chance that this footage might not be real. AI algorithms can make images and videos that look super real, making it hard to tell what's fake and what's not. Do you believe the alien-like creature is genuine, or do you suspect it's a product of advanced CGI technology? Personally, my money is on the latter, but maybe, just maybe, the government paid me off to tell you guys that. There have been a lot of scary encounters spoken of in the Appalachian Mountains. People have reported seeing cryptids or hearing things. Our next clip is no different, as a family visiting a cabin in the Appalachian Mountains found themselves confronted with a spine-chilling experience.
Yeah, that was a car. Shit. Who's the aliens, bro? I think it's a train.
Es que porque suena así a la verga.
But that's just scary. Okay, do you guys want to go inside?
No. Yo estoy diciendo que no va a pasar nada, pero...
While soaking in a tub outside one night, they were suddenly startled by a loud, piercing sound echoing from afar. Initially unsure of the source, they wondered if it was a car in the distance or perhaps something alien. Feeling unnerved by the unsettling noise, they eventually retreated to the safety of their cabin, unaware of the chilling history of encounters in the Appalachian Mountains. Given the fact that they were alive to post this, we can say nothing bad happened. But what was that? A viewer suggested that the sound could simply be that of a passing train. What do you think, though? Was there something truly weird going on out there, or are we all freaking out about nothing?
Es que porque suena así a la verga.
But that's just scary. Okay, do you guys want to go inside?
No. Yo
Stop.
Our next clip is security footage that was posted to X, and by X, I mean Twitter. In the clip, we're introduced to a tiny creature that was captured walking across a path on a villa property. The creature was dark, but you could see its head and moving legs. Naturally, there has been a lot of debate on what this could be. Some have dubbed the creature a duende, a mythical creature from Hispanic folklore known for its mischievous nature. Others have suggested it could be a goblin, a supernatural entity often associated with mischief and trickery. There are even those who likened it to a leprechaun, the iconic figure from Irish mythology known for guarding pots of gold. However, a skeptic offered a more grounded explanation, proposing that the creature in the footage might simply be a raccoon, a common sight in many urban and suburban areas. Given the varying explanations, what do you think it could be? Now let's delve into the fascinating concept of a glitch in the Matrix, which originated from the iconic movie, The Matrix. In the video, an individual is observed looking through an open glass door, and what's peculiar is that the color of the car reflected in the glass differs from the actual color of the car. Through the glass, the car appears red, while in reality it's a shade of blue-black. Could it possibly be a glitch in the Matrix? Upon analyzing this intriguing scenario, some in the community proposed that the glass was reflecting a red car, and the juxtaposition of various shades of blue give the impression of the car displaying multiple colors. Some also stated that the two cars in question are not even the same type. When you critically review the footage, you can see it. They are indeed different vehicles. That doesn't, however, stop this from being a glitch. We could be glitching into a similar reality with different objects within it. But let me know what you guys think. While on their late-night shift, two nurses were walking down a hospital hallway when they suddenly came to a stop upon hearing the unmistakable sound of a woman crying.
Did you hear her?
Yes.
You hear her?
Throughout the shift, one of the nurses could distinctly hear the voice of a woman sobbing, although no one else was around. The nurse who shared this footage mentioned that this was not the first time she had experienced something like this. Hospitals are environments where life and death intersect daily.
She probably thinks I'm her mom. That was you.
No, I swear to God. Was that something?
Given the concept of ghosts being spirits of the deceased who linger on Earth, it stands to reason that hospitals might be prime locations for hauntings. Is this one of them, though? Well, it's hard to give a straightforward answer given the limited evidence, but what do you also think? Do you believe hospitals are haunted by the spirits of those who have passed away within their walls? The sea remains the most unexplored territory on Earth, a fact that often raises eyebrows and fuels curiosity. Why is it that we know so little about our own oceans? During an interview with Joe Rogan, Mexican OT Arapa was asked about his thoughts on aliens, and his response was quite intriguing.
Yeah. What do you think about aliens? What do you think is going on with all that? I think they're in the water. I think space is a distraction. I think NASA maybe used to be in the water and they seen something that scared the living shit out of them and they never wanted to go back.
He speculated that NASA might have been involved in deep-sea exploration at one point and encountered something so frightening that it drove them away from the ocean depths. This perspective opens up a fascinating dialogue. Why is the ocean so mysterious and underexplored? Could secrets be lurking beneath the waves that agencies like NASA are reluctant to reveal? What might they have discovered that's so unsettling? I guess we'll never know. When you purchase an old house, it's essential to thoroughly explore the entire property. You never know what you might discover. Such was the case for a man who recently moved into his new home, an old house with a mysterious history.
You ever bought a home with a hole? I advise go in it.
As he was exploring the property, he stumbled upon a narrow barricaded door tucked away in a forgotten corner. Intrigued, he managed to open it and was surprised to find himself facing a dark, foreboding tunnel that led to two passageways underground.
No way, Jimmy. Oh my God, bro. Are you kidding me? Come out here.
What was this tunnel for? The possibilities seemed endless. Perhaps it was a secret escape route, a forgotten storage area, or even a hidden room where secret meetings once took place. What do you think?
You ever bought a home with a hole? I advise go in it.
Sewer pipes are among the most haunting places to explore, giving the potential for all manner of hidden and unexpected discoveries. One man's exploration of abandoned sewers led to a chilling encounter with a strange creature lurking in one of the pipes. It was a large, fish-like entity, partially submerged in the puddle of dirty water, with razor-sharp teeth visible in its widely open mouth. This creature didn't resemble any known fish or animal. What could it be? No one knows for sure. Could it be a hybrid creature, perhaps a product of genetic mutations or environmental adaptations? If so, how did it find its way into the sewer system? Alternatively, in this age of advanced technology, could the creature be a sophisticated piece of CGI? Personally, my money is on it being a mechanical creation of sorts, but what do you think?
My God, I do on my face so fast if I tried to.
UFO.
I tried to do more than walking down that hill with all that heavy equipment.
In 2020, a family of farmers experienced an extraordinary event in the middle of the night. They spotted a strange object above a tree, its right side illuminated by glowing lights. Intrigued, they zoomed in on the footage and saw what appeared to be a strange craft, possibly alien, hovering in the air. Despite the craft being at a distance, the family is convinced that they've just witnessed a UFO. Many who saw their footage online shared the same exact sentiments. Some were also of the view that the government was behind this. Personally, I'd prefer to sit on the fence for this one, but still want to hear your thoughts. Please do what you always do with them. Write them in the comments section.
More than walking down that hill with all that heavy equipment.
UFO.
The idea of ghosts can be terrifying and unsettling, but sometimes it seems they might also have a sense of humor. Consider this footage. A father was lying in bed with his two kids, one on each side of his arms, giving them goodnight kisses. Suddenly, behind him in the corner of the room, a dark shadow with glowing eyes appeared. The man noticed the figure and leapt out of bed to check. But when he turned to look, there was nothing there except his brightly colored curtains. It was as if the mysterious entity intended to give the man a jump scare, and it certainly succeeded. He appeared visibly shaken by the encounter. What do you think about this eerie, yet seemingly playful ghostly encounter? Could it be a trick of the light, a vivid imagination, a spirit with a mischievous streak, or perhaps an attempt at getting his 5 minutes of fame? Let us know your thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Nothing here. Nothing back here. Oh my god, oh my god, look, legit goosebumps. Oh my god.
This trail camera footage has caught the face of a strange creature. This creature looked kind of like an ape, but with eyes that seemed more human. A part of me also thinks that it could simply be a man with soot and a lot of dirt in his face, but who knows? Perhaps this could be what the disapproving face of Bigfoot looks like, but no one's seen the guy and successfully taken a picture of us to compare. What do you guys think, though? While on a late-night drive, a man began to hear a strange knocking sound coming from the roof of his car.
Fucking ghost. Knocking on the roof of my goddamn truck. I just seen him flew up there. I don't know what the fuck that is. Jeepers creepers or what.
Wasn't caused by anything hitting the car. The knocking seemed to originate from the roof itself. What could this be?
Knocking on the roof of my goddamn truck. Listen at this motherfucker. I'm scared. Scared of this.
Well, we haven't got an answer, but we do have a variety of theories and maybe research questions. Could it be a ghostly entity attempting to make its presence known or trying to enter the car? The idea of an unseen presence so close by is certainly disturbing. What do you think, though? Perhaps you have a more rational explanation.
The hell?
A YouTube channel named Sasquatch Watchers recently shared an image depicting a peculiar and startling scene. The footage shows what appears to be a massive creature hanging upside down in the sky with a helicopter positioned above it. According to the channel, the beast being carried by the aircraft is a Bigfoot. The creature in question does share the distinctive features commonly associated with Bigfoot, and its size seems even larger than the helicopter itself. However, the context and details surrounding this footage are sparse, leaving many questions unanswered. Could this image be genuine evidence of Bigfoot's existence and a government or private effort to relocate or study the creature? Or is it more like a sophisticated hoax or a case of mistaken identity, or something more mundane is being misinterpreted as Bigfoot? I would love to give an answer, but I think some things are better left to your interpretation. Also, I'm not done laughing at my favorite comment from the original post. Take a look. Now, if you're done laughing, on to the next clip. The Simpsons have predicted almost every major event that has occurred in recent times. Well, not almost everyone, but you get the idea. This has naturally made everyone rather interested in the details they usually put in their clips. They're looking for the next big prediction, and for some odd reason, members of the paranormal community think this one is next. In this clip, we see the family fall into a sinkhole and somehow survive it. The car brand must be Toyota. I mean, what other cars are that strong? Anyway, when they get to the bottom of the hole, the family is unfazed and simply proceeds to find something. Marge opened a glove box to find something, and in there were boxes. One was an earthquake kit, a zombie virus kit, a tsunami kit, and a sinkhole kit. She uses the sinkhole kit and it forms a huge staircase out of the hollow. Now pay attention to the order of the kits. Could this mean something? I'll leave that one up for your interpretation. A woman recently shared a chilling experience involving a Tesla car and a bizarre encounter with what she described as a humanoid figure. After visiting a cemetery, she noticed that a strange entity seemed to be following her on a journey home, as indicated by her car's GPS tracking system. The woman was astonished to see the figure represented on her Tesla's GPS map seemingly trailing her from the cemetery all the way to her residence. This unnerving phenomenon has left people asking a lot of questions. According to the poster, this isn't the first time someone has experienced this. Others have shared similar tales, suggesting that Tesla's vehicles might have a surprising ability to pick up on paranormal activity. Either that or their software is just buggy. Are there any Tesla owners on this channel? Could you please confirm or disapprove this? This next footage, taken in the Philippines, depicts a bizarre and captivating scene. A passenger in a vehicle recorded an empty tuk-tuk spinning in circles in the middle of the street. What made this sight even more astonishing was that there was no one inside the vehicle. People were shocked and hesitant to approach, while traffic came to a standstill as everyone watched the spectacle. Eventually, a brave man walked up to the tuk-tuk and managed to enter it, bringing the rotating vehicle to a stop. Fortunately, his intervention was successful, but it leaves us wondering what could have caused this strange occurrence. Could this have been a simple mechanical issue, or does it point to something more mysterious? Share your thoughts. Check out this amazing new way to order food at a restaurant. They have developed a high-tech card that can create lifelike 3D images of all the available food and drinks. Imagine being able to see a realistic representation of each dish and beverage right on your table. Thanks to this innovative technology, it seems like that's possible. It adds a whole new dimension to the dining experience, allowing customers to make more informed choices based on visual cues. Do you think it could completely change the way we experience dining out? Elon Musk, a top tech innovator, keeps pushing the limits with his ventures. As SpaceX founder, he oversees a vast array of space resources.
When you think about the question of where are the aliens, which I get asked a lot, this is like the Fermi paradox. Where are the aliens? And I've not seen any evidence that there are aliens on Earth.
During the Milken Institute Global Conference, Musk talked about extraterrestrial life. Thanks to SpaceX capabilities, he's in a unique position for any potential alien discoveries. Musk stressed that despite SpaceX space surveillance, no solid evidence of extraterrestrial life has been found yet. He promised to share any such discovery promptly. But the question remains, could SpaceX or Musk have detected signs of extraterrestrial life and chosen to keep quiet, or are we still waiting for humanity's first contact with beings from beyond?
I think we're probably alone. And if you look at the history of Earth, like how long has Earth been around? Assuming that physics is correct, the universe is about 13.8 billion years old. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. When you think about how old is civilization, I think the right measuring point for civilization, in my view, or a good measuring point, would be the advent of writing.
During the winter of 2018, a hiker was taking a leisurely walk through the snow-covered terrain of Oklahoma when he stumbled upon a strange and unusual footprint. Upon closer examination, the hiker realized that it was not a footprint of a regular animal, but had 3 distinct clawed toes and an upper part of the foot that was wider than the lower part. The hiker took a picture of the print with his foot beside it to show the stark difference in size. It was clear that this print was much larger than a regular animal's, leading to the assumption that it was made by a big animal. But what animal exactly could it be? After sharing the picture online, some suggested that it could be the footprint of a dogman, a cryptid creature that is said to have the characteristics of both a human and a canine. While there's no concrete evidence to support this theory, the strange characteristics of the footprint have certainly piqued the curiosity of many. What do you think about this intriguing discovery? What do you think this is? The individual who sent it believed he'd run into a creature of the night, but after careful scrutiny... Actually, no. There was no careful scrutiny here, just scrutiny. So after some scrutiny by me, I realized it was nothing but an owl. I mean, you guys can see it too, right? Wouldn't it have been funny if I made a whole section about a monster that was nothing more than an owl? Do you believe there might be smaller men out there? No, I don't mean dwarfs. If you don't, then this footage is for you. Did you see it? Yes, a small man peered from behind the tree and then disappeared when it felt like it was being watched. Little people have been a part of many folklore and traditions. Looking at this clip, I'm tempted to believe they're real. There's no way you're telling me this clip is edited or manipulated, or is it? Guys, tell me what you think. Personally, though, I think this is real, and I can't wait to check out the location. And of course, I'm not sharing the location with you guys until I've confirmed and seen them with my eyes. Wish me luck. This footage was taken back in 2012 by some fishermen who were on a commercial boat. They were headed out on a regular fishing trip, hoping to catch a lot of fish, but instead of the usual catch, they found something incredible. As they pull up their net, they discover a huge creature tangled inside, trying to break free. And to make things even more surprising, a human-like arm sticks out from the mass with webbed fingers. Now, I don't know of any edible fish with hands, which has me wondering what exactly the fisherman caught. Could it be one of the legendary mermaids or a siren species, or are we dealing with something entirely new? So we received another perplexing footage. Take a look at it yourself. What do you see when you look at this? Well, the individual who sent this in believes he's captured none other than the legendary T-Rex. As much as I love dinosaurs, there's no way that's a T-Rex. Even if we can get over the size difference and how unstriking the supposed resemblance is, you have to agree that the movement is not one you would associate with a T-Rex. But then again, you see the clip too, don't you? What do you make of it? This video of a mysterious craft flying over Miami has caused some confusion and controversy. The footage was captured by an eyewitness who believed they had witnessed an unidentified flying object. However, others soon came forward to suggest that the craft in question was a military stealth bomber. It's not hard to see why the eyewitness might have been confused. The craft in question is sleek and black and moves with remarkable speed and agility. It's the kind of vehicle that looks like it could come from another planet. However, closer inspection reveals that it's a military aircraft. Despite the clarification, the sighting has caused some concern among locals. Miami has been on edge since an alleged alien sighting a few months ago, and many people are worried that this latest sighting might be evidence of a more sinister phenomenon. What do you think? Do you like light shows? If you do, get ready to be amazed by nature's light show. What you're seeing is an incredible glow of bioluminescent water, an absolutely mesmerizing phenomenon. Bioluminescent plankton, or algae as they're called, are the ones behind this magical glow. Anytime night falls and darkness descends upon the coastal waters, this remarkable transformation takes place. These tiny organisms are endowed with the extraordinary ability to produce light through chemical reactions within their cells and cast a radiant glow upon the surface of the sea. With each gentle movement of the water, the bioluminescent organisms shimmer and sparkle, creating a mesmerizing display that captivates all who behold it. Beautiful, isn't it? Someone sent this stating he was a goat man, but once I saw the inscription, it hurt my heart because this person you see is every bit as human as you and I, only with a medical and birth defect. If you ever see someone like this, just know that they're actually suffering from microencephaly. For those unfamiliar with the term, microencephaly is a condition that affects the brain, particularly during fetal development. The term microencephaly literally means small brain. In individuals with microencephaly, the brain doesn't develop properly, resulting in a smaller than usual brain size. This condition can lead to various developmental issues and intellectual disabilities. Hopefully, this explains his behavior. Microencephaly can occur due to various factors, including genetic abnormalities, exposure to harmful substances during pregnancy, infections such as the Zika virus, or lack of proper nutrition during pregnancy. So guys, I know we love the supernatural and all related things, but sometimes it's just someone going through some birth defects. So be kind, okay? At least until we can prove that whatever you're thinking is the case. Another day, another UFO sighting, but this time with a twist. Witnesses report an unconventional craft hovering in the sky resembling an acorn. While saucers and octopus-shaped UFOs often dominate the reports, this sighting introduces a new and intriguing variation to the mix. The peculiar shape of the craft sparks a wave of speculation and intrigue among enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Could this unconventional design hint at a new wave of extraterrestrial technology, or is there a more earthly explanation waiting to be uncovered? Julius calls it fake, but what do you guys also think? After a tsunami hit Japan, this creature was found washed up on the shores. It looks like a jellyfish without its tentacles. It was pinkish, and when someone used a stick to turn it over, they found the opening and its surface were sticky. As if this was not weird enough, someone decides to pour a bottle of Coke over this mysterious being, and to everyone's amazement, it reacts by shooting out white fluids. So what in the world could this strange creature possibly be? Is it a denizen of the deep, or perhaps it's an entirely new species previously unknown to science until this very moment? Next, we have this Trailcam capture of what looks like a wolf-dog creature with the body of an ape and the gait of a bipedal creature such as a human. If you're a subscriber and a follower of this channel, then you know we've come across creatures that look like this in the past. The ones we've seen, however, look much more like either a dog or a wolf, but this particular one looks like it has a bear's face. Although each is slightly different, they all have the face of a canine, which fits the description of the Dogman creature. If you're hearing of the Dogman for the first time, it's a humanoid creature with the body of a human and the head of a canine, which may be that of a wolf or a dog. It's also stated to be tall and muscular with sharp teeth and claws. You don't need to be an expert on the subject to know we're looking at the embodiment of the creature on your screens. One question remains though, is this really the Dogman or is it fake? Tell us what you think. What you're looking at is a cast made from what is suspected to be the footprint of a Bigfoot. Somewhere in Colombia, a man went fishing when he felt an eerie sensation as though he was being watched by something dangerous. He turned around just in time to catch sight of a massive creature staring at him from a distance. When the stalker noticed it had been spotted, it quickly dashed into the woods. The fisherman chased it after, but soon lost sight of it. He returned to the spot where the creature had been standing, only to see huge footprints that were left in the sand by whatever it was that he'd chased. 1 foot of the prints was about 12 inches long and 5 inches wide. It was definitely much bigger than that of any human he knew. There was only one creature that could have left a print as large and abominable as what you see. This video footage of UFOs flying over the surface of the moon was captured via telescope on Earth. The video shows multiple unidentified flying objects appearing to fly in formation over the moon's surface. All the objects have different shapes and sizes which don't match the tech that we have here on Earth. This has sparked a lot of debate among people who are interested in extraterrestrial life. Some people believe that these objects are proof of the existence of aliens on the moon, while skeptics believe that they are simply satellites or debris in space. There have been age-old conspiracies about the existence of aliens on the moon, and this video has reignited discussions about them. Some people have suggested that there might be a secret base on the moon that's being used by aliens, while others think that these objects might be evidence of secret government operations. They may be simply debris or satellites, but it's also possible that there's something else entirely. What do you think? I know you're waiting for the next clip, but my new friend Bigfoot asked me to ask you if you have liked and subscribed, and if you haven't, please do so now. Thank you. Many stories have circulated about people who have allegedly captured footage of skinwalkers, but this particular video is especially intriguing. It shows a skinwalker during a transformation. The incident took place in the Skinwalker Ranch, where the person was walking through a deserted area when they stumbled upon a strange-looking creature perched on the rocks. At first glance, it seemed like a crouched human, but as the person kept filming, they noticed that the creature was transforming into a cat-like being. The transformation appeared to start from the feet and move up to the head. As the creature continued to transform, it became more apparent that this was a dark-colored panther. Once the transformation was complete, the panther jumped over the rocks and walked off into the wilderness. It was an eerie sight to behold, and the person recording the video was visibly shaken by the experience. This type of behavior is typical of skinwalkers, which are believed to be shapeshifters who can transform into any animal they desire. What are your thoughts on this intriguing and mysterious encounter? Humans can just not stay in their lanes, always probing into things that have little to do with them. We see two of such in this footage. The footage was captured by two adventurous individuals who, for some unknown reason, decided to venture into the depths of an abandoned mineshaft in the woods. They, however, looked like they got more than they bargained for. Just take a look at what they captured once they were in the abandoned mineshaft. In the darkness, you can see a human-like creature on two legs with glowing eyes standing before them. The creature looks like a skinwalker. It's skinny and at least 6 feet tall. They might have gone in seeking an adventure, but the sight of that thing was enough to kill the thrill-seeking spirit of theirs. But what do you think that creature in the dark is? Do you believe in ghosts? If your answer is no, then this footage might just shock the unbeliever out of you. Don't believe me? Have a look. Did you see it? Did you see the transparent being walk in and out of frame as though he had no care in the world? There's no denying that it's a ghost, but how? Even the people who recorded this footage are baffled and can't make sense of it. They ignored it until they went into the woods with another man who began experiencing an eerie presence he couldn't make sense of. He turned to the next person and tried to describe what he was feeling and was told to say no more. The man showed in the video his friend had recorded some weeks prior, and it confirmed everything. The video is what you just watched. The woods they were in was not normal. There was something or some things out there, and they were definitely not from our plane of reality. In simple terms, the place was haunted. The men knew this, and they still came back because they had to hunt. But do tell me, would you go back into a forest if you knew it was haunted, even if your livelihood depended on it? Tell us. We'd love to know your perspective. Just take a look at this. It's a waterfall of fire cascading down the mountain, creating a mesmerizing scene before my eyes.
It just won't stop.
This is the legendary Yosemite Firefall, a spectacle that occurs every year from mid to late February when the sunset hits Yosemite's Horsetail Fall at a particular angle, giving it the illusion of a molten lava-like stream of fire. The contrast between the bright orange and red hues of the firefall and the dark, rugged landscape of the mountain creates an awe-inspiring vision that's hard to replicate. The Yosemite Firefall is a phenomenon that has been captivating people's imaginations for decades. It's a rare occurrence, and it lasts only for a short period, making it all the more special. It's a remarkable reminder of how nature can be both beautiful and powerful, and it's an unforgettable experience for anyone lucky enough to have witnessed it. If you think you've seen it all, just take a look at this. This creature was seen on the water's surface. An observer zoomed in to capture the moment, and you notice that this creature looks strange. Could it be a sneaky eel, smoothly moving through the water, or perhaps a dangerous sea snake gliding with deadly accuracy? Well, no one can say for sure, but Julius says it's definitely CGI generated. What do you guys think? Speaking of strange, take a look at this security footage. As you can see, it's night and the streets are empty. Then, from across the street, a dark entity is seen walking by, but then it stops midway and turns to look at something. Then a man in a hoodie appears, not knowing he's being watched. The hooded man goes to someone's car, opens it, and takes some stuff. While he busily searches the car, the entity starts to walk towards the thief in the car. Before he can get close, however, the man takes what he wants and proceeds to run away. And that's when things get odd, because the entity realizes it and also chases after him. This is such a strange situation. Through the whole ordeal, the man is not aware of the entity's presence. So what was that entity? Is it some sort of supernatural police? Did it catch up to the man? What did it do when it caught up with him? What if I told you that the world's strongest man has got nothing on the man I'm about to introduce? Think I'm joking? Well, take a look. Yup, that's a man carrying a rock that appears to have been hewn from a mountain or something of that sort. It's not every day you get to see someone carrying one of those, since heavy machinery is typically the appropriate thing to transport them. Could this be how the pyramids were built? Well, Julius doesn't think so, and I agree with him. And no, the stars didn't align and the world is not ending. I just think he looks too comfortable to be carrying something like this. It has to be a prop. There's no way this is real. If it was, it would have reflected in his movement. Either that, or he's so strong that he doesn't need to. What do you guys think? I know you're waiting for the next clip, but my new friend Bigfoot asked me to ask you if you have liked and subscribed. If you haven't, please do so now. Thank you. This image was taken in North Queensland, Australia. According to the witness, while walking through the bush, he spotted a strange-looking creature standing silently in the bushes staring back at him. He described the creature as not very big, but smaller than a human and covered in dark fur. The witness had never seen anything like it before. Fortunately, he was able to quickly snap a picture before the creature took off. The image is now being examined by experts to determine what the creature could be. While it's uncertain, some have speculated that it could be an Australian yowie, a mythical creature similar to Bigfoot that's said to haunt the Australian wilderness. Others believe it could be a previously unknown species of animal. At this point, no one knows for sure what the creature in the image is, but what do you think though? A yowie or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A couple were enjoying a peaceful camping trip in the forest until they discovered a strange print on the car window. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was a handprint that looked greasy and emitted an unpleasant odor. Initially, the man thought that his girlfriend was playing a prank on him, but she insisted that she had nothing to do with it.
I swear to God I'm not with you. That is what me up right there.
The handprint was slightly larger than that of a human and had distinctive features that resembled those of an animal, specifically a primate. It was a puzzling sight, and they couldn't help but wonder which animal could have left such a mark. Could it be a monkey, an ape, a gorilla, the legendary Bigfoot, or the famed and even more elusive Dogman? They carefully examined the print, trying to discern any clues that could help them solve this mystery. I have my own theories too, but today I want to hear yours. What do you think could have left such a mark? Speaking of conspiracies, take a look at this footage from Utah. What comes to mind when you see this capture? And no, I'm not referring to the X trail in the sky, although that's also a tad suspicious. Look closely toward the middle. Do you see the dark being or creature there? Yep, the individuals who sent this in accidentally captured it and shared it online. Once they did, it didn't take long for another individual who had explored the area to share this footage. I don't need to tell you who this is, right? This big guy has apparently been living in and exploring the area. It's been captured one too many times by explorers, and it doesn't seem to care. It probably feels like, well, no one will believe those sharing the clips and footage because Bigfoots aren't real. Just like some of you are struggling to believe if this is real or not. So this next one was sent in by a man who heard a lot of commotion in his backyard and went to investigate. Take a look.
I hope not, because it's almost falling apart. It wouldn't be very safe, but I'm going to come out here and have a look around, see if any of the neighborhood kids are messing around or anything. I'll get quiet here for a second.
You saw it too, didn't you? There was a hidden figure on his roof. It appeared to be dark and humanoid. In fact, it was almost human if not for its dark skin et al. Many who saw this thought it might be a Bigfoot, but I disagree. I don't think it's large enough, even for a juvenile Bigfoot. If it was, I don't think the frame could have held it. Also, I haven't known Bigfoots to be that acrobatic, but, well, maybe that's just me. What do you guys think we could be dealing with here? This next video could potentially offend some paranormal enthusiasts, but it does make some valid points. It features suspected Bigfoot footage that was released and debunked by a man. The creature in the footage looks strange and was reported to be a Bigfoot, but it looks nothing like your typical Bigfoot. The man used some sort of facial comparison technique to analyze the creature's facial features and proportions. The results showed that they didn't match those of a Bigfoot. Another thing that stood out was the way the creature blinked. It looked totally unnatural and not at all like how primates move their eyelids. The man concluded that the creature in the footage was animatronic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every Bigfoot sighting is fake. Or, well, what do you think?
It was like using the force on a cursor.
Now let's talk about scientific interventions. Meet the first patient to undergo the groundbreaking Starlink brain transplant, a procedure that seems to be yielding promising results thus far.
I love playing chess, and so this is one of the things that y'all have enabled me to do, something that I wasn't able to really do much the last few years, especially not like...
Reports indicate that the patient's cognitive abilities have shown marked improvement, as evidenced by his adeptness at playing chess on a computer, an accomplishment he previously struggled to achieve. This early success raises intriguing questions about the potential enhancements in intelligence and cognitive function that may accompany the completion of the procedure. What do you think about the whole thing, and would you get one if you had the chance to?
Perfect. I would say that we have run into some issues. I don't want people to think that it is like this is the end of the journey. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it has already changed my life.
Still on cryptids, have a look at this security cam footage. Did you see the creature? That was an ape-like being trying so hard to cross the street undetected in the dead of the night. While it managed to evade human eyes, it couldn't escape the vigilant gaze of the security camera. You don't need to be told after seeing it the first time to know it's Bigfoot. But here's the thing. Unlike most Bigfoot clips we've seen, this creature moves incredibly fast for its size. It's fascinating the way it moves. It's like it's completely in its element. Sure, it has an ape-like body, but its movements are so eerily human. One question remains. Where was it headed? Honestly, who knows where it was headed? One thing's for certain, I wouldn't want to encounter it at night, especially if it's prowling around for food. And my guess, that's probably what brought it to town. After all, what else will a Bigfoot be doing in town at night? Or is this a hoax? Share your thoughts. This footage is a reminder to lock your doors at night before bed and, above all, mind your business. The footage was captured by a family who heard weird noises outside their house but made a smart choice to investigate through their window instead of going out to see for themselves. As you can see from the footage, everything looked normal as they had imagined all they had heard, but out of nowhere, a pale creature emerges from the dark and crawls very fast toward the window. Thankfully, they were able to shut the window in time and the creature disappeared as quickly as it came. But let's take a second look in slow motion. The creature clearly has human-like features, but it crawls instead of walks, and its arms are very skinny and a tad sickly. Everything about it is reminiscent of a rake. If you think otherwise, do not hesitate to mention it in the comments section. On the shores of an unknown location, this massive creature was discovered, and it looked quite peculiar. Its skin was covered with a thick layer of dust, which made it even more difficult to identify the exact species. The creature appeared to be deceased, and its eyes were bulging out, which was quite a disturbing sight. The size of the creature was enormous, which made it even more intriguing to examine. It's still unclear whether it's a new species of fish or an unknown creature that's been living in the depths of the sea. Further analysis and research are required to determine its exact origin and species. But what do you think it is? I'm not entirely certain if this is a glitch in the Matrix or some sort of meteor shower gone awry. Those peculiar lights descending from the sky and plunging into the river are certainly out of the ordinary. While some speculate that it might be fireworks cascading into the water, we can't be entirely certain of that explanation. There's an eerie quality to the event that leaves room for doubt. What's your take on it? Next, we take a trip to an area near Hudson Bay in July 2011. The footage was taken by a man who was being disturbed by strange and unexplained noises. Instead of running, however, he decided to investigate, but with his camera rolling. What he discovered left him terrified. As he was investigating the noise, he stumbled upon a creature in the darkness. It was a ghastly creature, pale in appearance, its eyes ominously glowing, lurking on the ground. Though the footage is a bit shaky, you can still make out what looks like a pair of human-like arms. Not long after this discovery, the video ended. That creature looked nothing like a human. It had no ears or any visual indication of a nose. The white skin and glowing eyes of the creature are reminiscent of a rake. For those unfamiliar with them, rakes are paranormal creatures that are known to stalk people. Approach them and they won't hesitate to attack. Although they are humanoid, they also appear to be crouching and are extremely pale. What do you think? Was the creature the man found a rake? Or is it all fake? Tell us in the comments section. For our next video, we visit Jahalis, Canada. Take a look at these tracks. What do you think made them? You don't need to be a genius to know this was done by something big and possibly dangerous. Whatever it was, it had to have big feet. We all know what the culprit should be, the one and only Bigfoot. Now let's delve into the story behind these intriguing tracks. It all began when a family stumbled upon them during one of their outings. At first, they believed it to be a one-time occurrence. However, as time went on and they continued spotting these tracks in different seasons, it became increasingly clear that the creature resided in close proximity. This was all hypothetical until someone in the family actually saw the creature in its full glory. It was no ape or a bear or any other large mammal you can think of. It was actually Bigfoot. Interestingly, even after discovering that Bigfoot resides nearby, the family has chosen to remain in their home. In fact, one brave member even throws stones at the creature whenever they cross paths, boldly stating that they're not afraid. What would you have done if it were you and your family? Would you have stayed or would you have moved? Tell us in the comments section. In a calm river, something extraordinary happens. A man steps into the water and effortlessly glides for it, moving with remarkable speed and grace. Can I even call it gliding? It's almost as though he was hovering and just levitating through the water. How can this man move so smoothly through the water? It feels like driving a knife through butter. It's like he's being pushed by an invisible force, effortlessly cutting through the water with each graceful movement. Is he some kind of hybrid creature, part human, part fish, a mix of two creatures? Who knows? Take a look at what this underwater camera captured. It's not just the lights falling from the intriguing sky, there's something massive lurking beneath the surface. This creature captured on the camera isn't your typical whale or shark. It bears a striking resemblance to prehistoric fish. It's as if a creature from the depths of time has resurfaced, adding another layer of mystery to the already perplexing events unfolding before us. What do you make of this unexpected discovery? The one thing that came to mind when I first saw this footage was a nearly headless Nick in the Harry Potter franchise. This man, however, appears to not have a head at all. How is this possible? Well, it's not. At least, it's not supposed to be. So what are we dealing with here? Well, either this is something supernatural or it's pretty cool and a neat trick. Personally, I don't think it's real, but one of the comments on the original post caught my attention. Yeah, she believes it might belong to a race of beings that are just like humans, but only headless. What do you guys think? So, someone sent us this video he had seen somewhere else asking if this was normal. He stated that he'd never lived in a place with snow and found it odd that snow could be rolled like this. He thought snow was supposed to be powdery and felt the government might be messing with our weather. While I don't deny my suspicions of the government messing with our weather, I don't think this is it. I did some digging around and confirmed what I already knew. This is actually possible as long as the snow is wet and sticky and not dry. As long as these conditions are met, you should be able to roll your snow. Unless, perhaps the government paid me to feed you this conspiracy. If you can believe that. This video was recorded on February the 4th, 2024 from a passenger plane flying at 30,000 feet. While filming, the camera captured a peculiar object hidden among the clouds beneath the plane. The craft was not immediately visible as it did not resemble your typical aircraft or any other known object for that matter. It's unclear why the craft was hidden among the clouds, and this raises many questions about its origin and purpose. Could it be some sort of experimental aircraft or perhaps a hidden military vehicle? Alternatively, some have suggested that it could be a case of pareidolia, the tendency for the human brain to perceive patterns and shapes where none exist. Regardless of its true nature, this strange sighting has sparked a great deal of curiosity and speculation among those who've seen the footage. Many are eager to learn more about the craft and what it could mean for the future of aviation and space travel. Next, we have this massive, pale-colored creature emerge from the water, resembling a giant tongue as it wriggles with an eerie grace. But here's the kicker. This peculiar entity is devoid of any discernible features. No eyes, no nose, just a smooth, featureless surface undulating in the currents. Now, what could this mysterious phenomenon possibly be? Is it a previously undiscovered sea creature lurking in the depths and defying all attempts at classification? Or could it be a relic of some ancient, otherworldly entity emerging to confound and astonish unsuspecting observers? The possibilities are as vast as the ocean itself, leaving us to wonder and speculate about the secrets that lie beneath the waves. Have you ever had a stalker in your life? No? Take a look at this one. The footage starts with this innocent-looking woman walking into a building. Well, according to her, she went in through her garage, but stay focused. The garage isn't our primary objective here. A few seconds after she's entered, something steps out of the shadows, and we can barely see its dark limbs. It's almost as though it was contemplating whether to go in or not. But stepping away from the creature's intentions, we have to wonder what exactly is that creature. What did it want and why was it stalking the woman? Given the fact that this was posted online without any mention of an accident, we can only hope the woman is fine. But seriously, what is that? Do you believe in voodoo? No? Well, how do you explain this? Yes, that's an inanimate object levitating solely on the charms of those men jumping and dancing around it. I don't know whether they're praising or worshipping, but whatever it is, it's definitely got some power to it. It's like Harry Potter without wands. Blimey. While I do think there's some authenticity to these African religions, and this is definitely real, Julius thinks it might just be a hoax meant to draw unsuspecting individuals in. I don't think so, though, especially because he can't explain how it's a hoax, despite his big brains. What do you guys think, though? Real or fake? If the devil were to walk among us, perhaps this is the form he would take. This chilling encounter was reported by someone who stumbled upon this enigmatic being perched on a hill in the dead of night. With its back turned to the camera, the creature's silhouette reveals a pair of ominous wings unfurling from its back and a horn-like projection. While it's reminiscent of the gargoyle, this entity appears larger and more human-like, evoking an unsettling aura of malevolence. Could this truly be the devil manifesting in our midst, or is there another explanation for this unearthly presence? Believe me when I say I've lived and experienced the supernatural, be it on land, sea, and even sky. One thing I haven't, however, seen or experienced is this. I simply don't know what we're dealing with here. Does any of you know? Please do share in the comments section. Oh, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies, if you know what I mean. Huh, wow, that rhymed. Anyway, I'll be reading. Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thanks for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. Next, we have this trail cam capture from the wild. You don't need to be an animal expert to know that there is a lot wrong with this wild animal. Its eyes look weird, which I doubt the camera and lighting have anything to do with, and one of its horns is pointing the wrong way. Now, here's where things get interesting. Many viewers who saw this capture have put forward theories. Some suggest it could be a mutated deer or the result of a government project gone wrong. But in my opinion, the deer seems to be simply sick and in need of help. What do you think? For our next footage, we visit Canada, specifically Saskatchewan. Sounds like a place to find a Sasquatch, doesn't it? Turns out you can actually find one there. While patrolling the reserve, a security officer caught sight of this large, dog-furred creature approximately 10 feet tall walking across the field. Thinking it was a bear, he looked at the animal moving only to realize that the creature was effortlessly moving on two legs and lazily swinging its arms. He soon realized that he was dealing with no bear, it was something much more. Considering the history of Sasquatch sightings in the area, he quickly realized he was witnessing one himself. Determined to capture the moment, he reached for his camera, but unfortunately by then the creature was almost out of sight. What do you think though? Is that really a Sasquatch or is it something else? Now what do we have here? A fisherman went to sea, and among the usual catch he found this translucent, insect-like creature wriggling in his net. Its strange appearance captivates those who see it, sparking curiosity and speculation. What could this creature be, and where did it come from? Some suggest it might be an extraterrestrial visitor from distant planets. Others propose it could be a new species yet to be identified. You have seen it too now, so what do you think? An observer from a distance saw a group of bulls dashing in front of the woodlands in Alberta, Canada. While watching the herd, the observer noticed something else walking by. As they looked closer, they realized that it was a massive, furry creature with broad shoulders and a coned head. The creature's size and description fit the description of a Bigfoot, a legendary ape-like creature that's believed to inhabit remote forests and mountainous regions across North America. Footage from Ontario, Canada. In the clip, we see some boaters filming their time out on the lake when a creature moves in between the trees in the land ahead of them. The creature moves quickly as though it didn't want to be seen. Creatures in the wild are always shy, so this would not be odd, but we see the boaters head toward the land as they wanted to see the creature up close. But why? Watch this zoomed-in version of the footage and you can understand why. Did you see it? That's an ape-like creature and there are no apes in Ontario. If you take a closer look at the footage, it gets even more suspicious. Although the creature looks like an ape, it has human-like gait. Do you know any other creatures that look like apes with human-like features and traits? Yes, you guessed right. Bigfoot. There's a Bigfoot in Ontario, and this is just one of many bits of evidence. There's one question we've been asking, though. Is there just one Bigfoot in these woods, or is there an entire community simply hiding from us? Share your thoughts. Next, we have this very confusing image we just can't seem to make sense of. Can you help? In the footage, we see what looks like a panther with white tusks and a translucent-looking figure by it. At first glance, it might appear as if we're looking at the panther with white tusks resembling those of an extinct saber-toothed tiger. However, upon closer examination, some might argue it could be the backside of the panther. But which is it? Could this be an otherworldly creature, or is it simply a poor image by the Trailcam due to lighting and environmental conditions? Share your thoughts with us. It's been a while since we had an orb clip, so do enjoy this one. Right off the bat, I must say that this could qualify for the top 10 oddest and top 5 weirdest orb clips we've ever had. Not only is this present in a city, but it actually has a way of exploding or expanding, even if for a little bit, then shrinking again. It does this a couple of times and then disappears in the distance. The one who posted it said, aside from the red hue, nothing else happened in the area, and not many even noticed it, unless they were outside, since it occurred at sleeping hours. Those who saw the clip think we may actually be looking at something from the depths of CERN, but since we don't have proof, we can't pursue that theory. What do you guys think? Still on homeowners and property owners, the owner of this footage noticed someone was breaking into his property and set up a trail cam. From the clip, we can clearly tell it's no animal, it's human. Some who saw it thought it was weird to see a human's light reflect light, but if you have the right infrared cam, it's not so weird. Now, the main question on everyone's mind is this just an ordinary human breaking into his property for her own dubious reasons, or could we really be dealing with a supernatural being taking on the form of a human? Well, everyone who's seen the clip has joked it's his mother-in-law, but what do you guys think? This next footage takes me back to the days of watching Bridge of Terabithia and Tinkerbell. Don't judge me, I was young. The footage was captured by an enthusiastic explorer in search of creatures from the fairy realm. For those who don't know, the fairy realm refers to the magical realm where fairies and all other fairy tale creatures reside. After roaming the woods for minutes in the rain, this strong believer of the fairy realm is rewarded with a capture of one of them supposedly going back to its habitat after the rain stops. Although not entirely visible, we can discern that it stands at least 1 or 2 feet tall with long limbs and a slender build. You clearly don't need me to remind you it's active and on the go. Like many whimsical creatures, it's incredibly alert and quick to react to any potential danger, whether from predators, scientists, or explorers like the one recording this footage. Many who saw the footage believe it's the real thing. Personally, I don't know how to feel about it. There's a good chance it's CGI, but I also want to believe that this is the real deal. What do you think about the whole thing? Now, in all our previous bonus footage, we had an animal for you to identify. Today, I thought we'd take it up a notch. Can you identify the creature making that blood-curdling noise? If you can, please head over to the comments section and tell us. The first accurate comment will be featured in our future videos. Trust me when I tell you this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Start your comment with bonus footage so we easily identify it. All the best. Next, we visit Australia, the home of the redback spider. Oh, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Even though this clip has nothing to do with the highly venomous redback spider. Anyway, enjoy. If you can't recognize the skeleton you are looking at, that's fine, because almost all who saw it couldn't identify it either. Some thought it was a dugong, but that just didn't make sense. Did I say everyone? Oh, no, forgive me. The scientific and logical community couldn't identify it. The paranormal community, however, think we may be dealing with the real skeleton of a mermaid or something closely related. Looking at it, I have to agree, and because I didn't want Julius shooting down my beliefs with his poorly informed logic, I didn't tell him. But guys, tell me you don't see a mermaid when you look at this. If you do, I won't bring the subject up ever again. Have you ever had an unexpected and invited visitor at your home? Did they look something like this? Well, you thought that was an ominous being, didn't you? Well, for the first few seconds, that's what I thought, until the light hit. While this might have been a game if you live in America, especially in states where individuals are mandated to have a gun, I'm not sure you should be trying something like this. The funny thing is, individuals in the comments sections thought so too. Take a look at this. For the first time in a long time, I agree. You don't want to get pew-pewed while playing a prank. It can be painful and, well, deadly. This footage was taken by an explorer who had decided to explore an abandoned building. Luckily, he didn't get into the building because something scared him off the property just before he could. Take a look. As he approached the entrance, the sight before him was eerie enough to give anyone pause. The entrance was padlocked, a sign that perhaps some things are better left undisturbed. But curiosity got the better of him and he raised his camera to capture a glimpse of the mysteries within. What he saw in that dark room, well, it's the stuff of nightmares. There, lurking in the shadows, was a creature with eyes that glowed like burning embers in the night. It's the kind of sight that would make your heart skip a beat. But here's where things take a sinister turn. As soon as this enigmatic creature spotted our intrepid explorer, it lunged forward with an otherworldly menace. Frightened to the core, our explorer makes a hasty retreat and the footage abruptly ends. Now, the big question that lingers is this: is our explorer okay? Because whatever that creature was, it certainly didn't appear to be in the mood for a friendly chat. But then again, he uploaded the footage, so he should be fine, right? If at this point you still disagree with the existence of ghosts, sit tight as I bring you more insights on this. In the footage, we see a man in the woods with his dog. I'm not exactly sure how the footage is being captured, but it might be a body cam or a head cam. Now pay attention to the footage. You'll notice a strange ghostly creature moving at the top right corner of the footage. The skeptic in me would have immediately called it a hoax, but look at the mannerisms of the dog. It picks up the being and also looks in that direction. This means that whatever was moving there is really there. Now, the question of its authenticity is another ballgame altogether. Could it be a man in a costume, or is it really a ghost moving through the woods? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. It's always the abandoned places. On second thought, I guess they are abandoned for a reason. This was sent in by someone who looked down into an old well, curious to see what was inside. But as they stare into the darkness, they start to feel like someone or something is watching them. But here's where it gets weird. From the bottom of the well, they see a pair of eyes looking back at them, shining in the dark. What could be living down there in this empty well? At first, I thought it might be a cat, but Julius and Aaron disagreed. They think it's either humanoid or bipedal, but it's hard to imagine anyone living in such a lonely place. So, what could we be dealing with here? Perhaps I should let you guys take point on this one. Still on Merfolk, take a look at this. This looks human and yet looks fishy at the same time. Do you know what else has fishy and human attributes? That's right, mermaids. I want to believe this is real. I really want to, but my brain can't get past the fact that their upper body is covered like a... Why is it covered? How would we know this isn't some doll you're trying to mislead us with? Because I have my doubts, I shared this with Julius, and as expected, he doesn't think it's real. But perhaps we're the ones being unreasonable. Do you guys think this footage is real? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have eerie footage that was taken while some kids were playing outside. As the kids innocently played and enjoyed themselves, a creature started to emerge from the background heading toward them. They seemed unaware of the creature until it was only a few meters from them. It was at this point that one of the kids noticed and called out to the rest. Without wasting much time, they all rushed out of the place and made it out safely. But let's take a second look at the footage when the creature appears. Did you see it? Although the trees have blocked the full view of the creature, you can make out a humanoid creature walking on 2 feet. It moves slowly as though it were a zombie. Its face, although not very visible, is not so human. It's hard to say what kind of creature it is just from the details, but many who have seen the video believe it's a hoax and nothing more than a father playing pranks on his kids. What do you think? We have something else that we have a hard time explaining. Wondering what I'm talking about? Have a look. Did you see that? Did you see the third deer appear out of thin air as characters spawn in a video game? If you did, you aren't seeing things, it really did happen. The question is, how? Well, no one knows. Now, here's where things get interesting. The paranormal community suggests it might be an animal spirit or something of the sort. Sounds intriguing, right? But here's the problem. Why would the spirit choose that particular time of the day and reveal itself to multiple people? It just doesn't quite add up. Some think that the driver might have offended the spirits, but we can't say for sure. Others, including myself, thought it was just a glitch in the Matrix. In case you are not familiar with the terminology, it's the belief that you and I are just in a computer simulation like the Matrix movies. This simulation from time to time breaks, which creates the kind of situation we're seeing with the deer. There are also some who think it's merely an optical illusion due to the perspective, and as logical as that sounds, it's hard to believe in this case. Some also subscribe to the idea that the footage is edited and it's a hoax. But you saw the footage too, what do you think? Now, when this started to play, I must say I thought I was seeing a large crab or some form of crustacean creature stretching its legs. I watched it over and over and over, and each time, it made my skin crawl. Being the researcher I am, thanks to the influence of Julius, I did some digging around and found out later that there was nothing ominous about this. In fact, it's just a plant feeder that slowly dissolves in the water, allowing for planned and timed feeds. Neat contraption, right? Well, that's only if you know what it is. If you don't, you may end up posting it online thinking you've captured something otherworldly. Thankfully, I'm not like that, thanks to Julius. Oh, it pained me to say that last part, but it is what it is. Have you ever been to a place and suddenly saw something that was never there a few minutes or hours earlier? What if that thing looked like this? Yeah, the man recording this footage found this strange-looking thing in the middle of nowhere, and the funny thing is, he had been there some hours before and didn't see it. So where did this come from? The fact is, no one knows, but the monolith, which is the name they're giving to this strange figure, has been seen in many other places. It always appears suddenly without a trace of how it got there. Many think the aliens are responsible, but, well, I don't think so. Frankly, I get why they think that, but Julius thinks humans might have something to do with it. Have you heard about these monoliths? Do you have a theory on their existence? Please share in the comments section. Trailcams are mostly set to capture wildlife, the beautiful interaction between animals in the forests and grassland, but this trailcam caught something quite unexpected. If you look at this image, it looks like a regular bush. However, take a look at these 3 shining dots on the left side. What could that be? 3 eyes? Trailcams typically capture the reflections of animals' eyes, resulting in the unusual sight of 2 pairs of glowing eyes in the dark. This particular image, however, displays 3 shining dots. What animal known to us roams the forest having a set of 3 eyes? The answer is simple: none. Could this be a paranormal creature or just a deformed coyote? I'll prefer the former because a creature with 3 eyes does not seem like something to be safe around. What do you think, though? Now, onto something really scary and eerie. Since starting this channel, we've reviewed a lot of weird footage, some of which we can't even share, but believe me when I say, none of them has made our stomachs turn like what you are about to watch. The video starts with a weirdly dressed man ushering a young lady who seems to be in her nightwear into the woods. The lady, seemingly entranced, obediently follows the man's instructions without any sign of resistance. When you watch the video for the first time, you don't notice it, but there's another weird-looking man in the bushes also signaling the two, or rather the lady, to come into the bush. They enter the bushes and the clip ends. According to the owner of the Trailcam that captured this chilling scene, neither the strange duo nor the young lady returned from the bush. And here's the kicker. The owner has no clue who the lady even is. The scary thing about this footage is that it was recorded as recently as April 2023. The paranormal community believes those were either skinwalkers or ritualists. Although we can't say for sure, none of these groups is good news for the lady. For the first time, I'm actually hoping this is a hoax, because if it's not, we've just witnessed creatures of the night kidnap a young girl. Who knows what they have done and are possibly doing to her even at this moment. If you've ever doubted ghosts exist, perhaps this clip is for you. Can you see it? There's a small, translucent girl walking around the room. I'm not exactly sure what the spirit is doing, but it doesn't appear to be hurting anyone. One thing's been on my mind, though. Why would a spirit be roaming in such a place? What do you guys think is going on there? Kindly share your thoughts. How do you like your hot springs? How about this hot? No? Well, me neither. I've watched this video over and over and over and over, and I must say, I have no idea what's going on here. The last time I checked, clean water doesn't burst into flames no matter how hot it gets. So what could be wrong with this water? Well, we don't know. Some believe it's very contaminated and toxic. Some think it's laced with methane. Others think it might be a filter. We can't say for sure which it is, but if this dude really bathed in these toxic waters, then it's safe to say he needs a checkup, and not with a medical doctor, but with a shrink. Speaking of strange animals, what do you make of this capture? Looking beyond the faded grass and the vibrant trees adorning the ground which sway in the wind like freshly washed hair in the wind, we see a mysterious creature which appears to be on a journey. I know that intro was a bit too much, but well, you can't deny it was nice. Anyway, coming back to our trail cam. You can't help but wonder what type of creature that is. It doesn't remotely appear to look anything like we know. Its size makes it too large for any creature I could think of. With its black appearance and 2 robust arms and legs, it could easily be mistaken for a male gorilla confidently navigating its territory. I'm uncertain. It's a bit unclear, just a speculation as usual. What could this creature be really? If it's not a gorilla, what is this black walking creature? A part of me wants to say large bat, but well, I won't let it. Kindly tell me what you think we're seeing in the comments section, as I really want to know. Now let's dive into a fascinating chapter of the internet's cryptid chronicles. Back on September the 3rd, 2013, the digital world was set abuzz by a single enigmatic image shared by a Facebook user. What did this image reveal, you ask? Well, none other than the piercing eye of a mysterious creature. A trail cam carefully positioned to capture the secrets of the forest had seemingly caught the attention of an inquisitive visitor. This creature, whoever or whatever it was, decided to get up close and personal with the camera. As many trail camera enthusiasts know, animals often get curious when they encounter these devices on their turf. What if I told you this was no ordinary encounter? What if I told you the eye that peered into the lens was unlike any that had been seen before? Even after experts compared it to close-up images of various creatures, none seemed to be a perfect match. It was as if this eye belonged to some other creature. The conclusion, as intriguing as it may be, led many to the realm of Bigfoot. Yes, you read that right. Bigfoot, the legendary humanoid cryptid of the wilderness. Why? Because this eye held a curious blend of human-like characteristics while still maintaining an air of mystery that set it apart. Of course, it's worth noting that the world of cryptids is filled with ambiguity and speculation. What one person sees as proof, another might dismiss as a trick of the light or an optical illusion. An expert compared the eye against that of a hog and was very convinced that there was no Bigfoot involved. He strongly believes it's definitely a hog. Given the options, which do you think it is? Yup, that's a creature standing in the dark with a pair of glowing eyes. It's definitely not human. It has extremely pale skin and the outline of its head is shaped like a skeleton. It appears to be very tall, say about 8 to 9 feet. As you try to make sense of what you're seeing, the darkness hides most of the creature's body, leaving only its spooky outline against the night sky. What do you think this could be? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. Yes, that's an actual person trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean in inflatables. It's a human-sized hamster wheel. I'm not sure how he got the idea, but he really believes it could work. He was allegedly spotted 80 miles off the shores of Georgia, and guess where he was going? The United Kingdom. Yep, that's right. He believes this could get him there. Either we're undermining his ability to do this, or he really underestimated how much of a journey he was committing himself to. Fortunately, or unfortunately for him, authorities found him and took him off the waters. Do you guys think he could have made it? Tell us in the comments section. Well, grab your crucifixes and holy water for this next footage. This footage was taken by a woman in Mexico. This baby sitting here is known as the vampire doll. Yes, you heard that right, a vampire doll. This pint-sized terror is decked out in a white dress, and as if that wasn't unsettling enough, it's clutching a feeding bottle filled with a vivid red liquid that can only be described as blood-like. But the real soul-chilling thing about it is its eyes. Those beady little orbs seem to track the individual's filming every move. Now, folks have their theories about this pint-sized harbinger of chills. Some say it's a demon doll, a cousin to the infamous Chucky. Others, perhaps a tad more rational, might argue it's just a cleverly designed toy with a penchant for optics. But if you ask me, I'd side with the cautious. Perhaps a splash of holy water and a healthy dose of fire wouldn't be amiss when it comes to dealing with such a doll. After all, who's ready to let something straight out of a nightmare haunt their dreams? Not me, that's for sure. Ghosts. They've been the subject of tales and folklore for centuries, haven't they? The idea of our dearly departed neighbors wandering the earthly realm with unfinished business, it's enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine. Now let's talk about this intriguing security camera footage. In the dead of night, we see a lone figure strolling along, clutching a trusty flashlight. Nothing too unusual there, right? But here's where it gets hair-raising. Right as this person passes by, another figure emerges, shadowy and ethereal in form. It's like something out of a classic ghost story. This second figure is not your typical late-night wanderer. He or she appears hazy, translucent, and within the blink of an eye, it vanishes into thin air. Now, some might argue that this could be a result of some pretty impressive video editing, and in today's digital age, that's a valid point. But personally, I doubt it is. This footage looks like the real deal if you ask me. If it is, was that a ghost, or is it an otherworldly creature trying to materialize in ours? You tell me. Next, we have this Trailcam capture, which we've had a hard time interpreting. If you take a closer look at the image, you see a creature that looks like a deer, either staring at or looking in the direction of the Trailcam. Instead of a head and face to match, this deer appears to have something that looks like a lamp on its head. This makes it hard to tell what's going on with its head and face. But what if it's not having a lamp on its head? What if that's how its head and face are? What if it glows because it's no ordinary deer, but a spiritual one? Before you laugh and dismiss it, think about it. How would you explain this capture? Experts who have reviewed the image believe it's authentic. If that's truly the case, how do you explain a deer with a glowing face? You can't, can you? This Trailcam was set to capture an unknown creature that was rumored to be living in the woods. Some stated that it was the legendary Gray Man, which is considered by some to be a benevolent spirit that warns humans of impending danger. As no one had seen it, no one knew what to expect until this trail camera recorded a creature in this footage which many thought was the Gray Man. As you can see from the footage, there's a cute creature standing amidst the woods, seemingly awestruck. It stands for a while and then quickly retreats into the woods. Do you think this is truly the Gray Man, or could it be a small monkey or some other small critter that had been mistaken for it? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Well, we've certainly stumbled upon something that's a head-scratcher. In the world of Trailcam mysteries, this one's a real enigma. Picture this, a vast open field, and in the middle of it all stands a creature that's, well, peculiar to say the least. This oddity is a sight to behold. It's covered in what seems like tattered rags from head to toe. Its skin appears burnt, giving it an eerie and unsettling appearance. Take a look at those fingers, claw-like and asymmetrical, with one seemingly larger than the other. It's safe to say this is no ordinary sighting. Now, the million-dollar question is, what on earth is this creature? The size alone rules out a mere hoax unless we're dealing with a child in an exceptionally bizarre costume or a CGI creation. Which do you think it is, real or an elaborate hoax to deceive us? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Ever wonder about the hidden history behind things we encounter or even imagine? This footage showcases an unadorned fenced structure with few trees and no paint. At first glance, it appears this house was abandoned and left unfinished, but there's more to it that meets the eye. During the day, it's devoid of any human presence, with only a leafless tree to keep it company, but come nightfall, it hosts mysterious beings. One such is what you see on your screen. As displayed in the clip, a figure all in white emerges from the front part of the seemingly abandoned structure. We're not exactly sure if it knows it's being filmed, but it moves around freely without a care in the world. It looks like a little girl, but that property is abandoned with no one living there. Could it be a ghost? If it's not, what else could it be? And why does it only appear in the dead of night when no one else is around? Could it be the spirit of someone who once lived there? It's hard to say, but all evidence points to the fact that it's a ghost. Is it a real ghost, though? This is where things get dicey. Isn't it a bit odd that a camera was placed conveniently to capture a ghost roaming an abandoned building? It could be a coincidence et al., or perhaps they could have been investigating. Personally, the footage is ticking all the checkboxes of a hoax, but what do you think? Nature's throwing us another curveball, and this time it's ants staging a weird forest dance. Imagine stumbling upon this oddity in the heart of the woods, a bunch of ants locked in a mysterious circle, all hustling around a peculiar white stone. Now, animals are like Mother Nature's early warning system, right? So when you spot ants behaving like they just discovered the insect version of a dance floor, it's bound to raise some eyebrows. They're all in this circular hustle, seemingly fixated on a white stone at the center, and there's the strange white fluid on the grass, adding an extra layer of intrigue. What's the deal, Mother Nature? Is this an ant rave or a secret insect council meeting? Are they summoning ant deities, or is it just an oddly organized ant picnic? A taxi driver was parked on the side of the road when something scares him out of his car. Initially, he was making a phone call when he saw something in the rearview mirror moving behind him. Being the only one in the car, he quickly turned to look at what it was, and there he saw his answer, the ghostly face of a child looking back at him. The face was pale and had dark circles around its eyes. Once he saw what he saw, the scared man rushed out of the car. Fortunately, or not, the security camera in the car was on, so it captured the ghostly intruder. When he finally mustered the courage to go back to the vehicle, he reviewed the footage and asked the paranormal experts online for clarity. So what do you think? Usually, when you hear Bigfoot, you think about a 6-foot or more creature, but this Trailcam capture leaves us a little confused. There in the picture, you can see a primate with its back turned to the camera. While the creature's features are reminiscent of a monkey, its upright posture leaves us believing it's actually a Bigfoot. But why does Bigfoot have relatively pale, human-like skin where fur should be? I know animals can look different once they lose their fur, but this is a bit much. Once you get past the fact that we're basically seeing the butt of Bigfoot, you also have to deal with the fact that it's lost its fur. Do all Bigfoots have pale skin underneath their thick fur, or is this simply a Yeti? Also, it looks a little too small to be Bigfoot, unless, of course, it's a juvenile. Either way, I'd love your input on this. What do you think we're dealing with here? Tell us in the comments. A thermal camera set in the woods caught footage of something disturbing in the middle of the night. What the camera captures is nothing short of extraordinary. In fact, have a look. In the footage, we see a colossal figure suddenly coming into view. It's not just standing there, mind you, it's running with gigantic strides. Given its size, its massive arms swing with an almost hypnotic rhythm. Looking at the capture, I'm pretty sure that the creature might be at least 7 to 8 feet tall. The location and hour of this peculiar sighting offer no comfort for those seeking a mundane explanation. The evidence on display simply doesn't align with the characteristics of a human being. The owner of this enigmatic footage believes with unwavering conviction that what we are seeing here could very well be the legendary Bigfoot. And you know what? Given the sheer size, the peculiar gait, and the location, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Don't you agree? All right, hold up. Are we witnessing the return of medieval shenanigans or what? Forget humans wrestling humans. Apparently, we're going back to the days when folks grappled with bears for kicks. Two beings, one human, one bear, having what seems like the weirdest playdate ever. And get this, they both looked like they were having a blast. It's like a bizarre version of Fight Club, where the first rule is apparently have fun. Now, call me crazy, but I thought we'd moved on from wrestling with bears. Wasn't that a thing in medieval times when boredom levels were off the charts? But here we are in the 21st century with what looks like a bear-human wrestling match for sheer amusement. I guess we've not seen it all yet. Though I don't approve, you have to admit it's impressive that the man was able to hold the weight of the creature as long as he did. What a man thought would be some quality bonding time with his son ended with them running out of the woods in terror. This man had gone walking with his little boy in the woods. As they had settled in an area just enjoying nature, the man heard some footsteps behind him, so he took out his camera and started looking around. That is when he caught a glimpse of a dark figure feet away from them. The man didn't see what it was, but something in him just told him to get the hell out of there. Without wasting time, he told his son to start running while he followed behind. They ran for a while and came to a stop. When he looked back, he saw that the dark figure was still after them, but luckily they had put a safe distance between them and it. To this day, no one knows what was there, but the man's instincts proved that whatever it was not safe to be around it. Next, we have a creature standing in a field, and at first glance, it might appear to be a simple stray dog. But hold onto your hats, because the owner of this footage firmly believes that they've captured none other than the infamous chupacabra. For those unfamiliar with the creature, it's a dog-like creature that feeds on the blood of livestock. Upon close examination of the footage, you might notice that despite claims of it being a chupacabra, it looks surprisingly ordinary. Is this a case of mistaken identity, or has the elusive chupacabra truly been caught on camera? Perhaps it's become more adept at blending in than we've given it credit for. What do you think? Next, we move to southeast Indiana for an alleged capture of the footprints of Bigfoot. Bear in mind that this was captured as far back as 2019, so have a look. The footprints, likely made on a muddy day, appear in the video as significantly larger than man's feet, possibly 2 to 3 times the size. Given its depth in the ground, we can deduce that whatever made it is quite large and very, very heavy. Do you know any creatures that fit the bill? Well, the paranormal community believes it's a Bigfoot, and who can blame them? The footprint was 18 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 4 inches deep, and the distance between the tracks was 70 inches. Hypothetically, this Bigfoot is assumed to be 8 feet tall, weighing approximately 800 to 900 pounds. According to the uploader, 5 people have witnessed these sightings. This gives some credibility to the captures. But tell me, what would you do if you met a behemoth that size? Would you run, scream, or try to befriend it? Let us know. Speaking of mysterious captures, take a look at this next one. At first glance, this looks like an ordinary image captured of the woods at night. A second look, however, and you'd notice something weird going on the left side of the screen. Do you see it? It appears to be some form of translucent creature moving within the trees. The poor quality of the image makes it hard to zoom in and discern what it is, because the more you zoom in, the blurrier the image gets. We're not particularly fond of blurry images because they often invite skepticism unless the circumstances surrounding them make a strong case for their blurriness. So we throw this one at you. What do you think you were seeing? Is this whole image even real, or simply a hoax meant to throw us off? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. The footage starts off with what looks like an innocent woodpecker curiously examining the Trailcam. After a few minutes, it becomes apparent that the woodpecker isn't just examining the Trailcam, it seems to either be vandalizing it or making a home out of it. It starts pecking at the camera until the camera simply goes off. The owner of the camera actually found it in bad shape and wondered what could have caused the damage. He got his answer when he reviewed the footage, though. However, this discovery left him with more questions than answers. Why would the woodpecker destroy his equipment? Could the camera have been fixed in a tree where it got its favorite nutrition from? Had it marked the tree to build its new nest? Or did it simply find the camera's presence an annoyance? Could our avian experts help us out on this one? We'll be reading the comments section for answers. Now let's take a look at something far more bizarre. This footage was uploaded onto Twitter back in 2022. According to the uploader, this blazing scene took place in Ohio. What we've got here is a mesmerizing carpet of fire sprawling across the streets of Ohio. Now, before you start wondering if this is some kind of supernatural event, here's the kicker. Instead of fleeing in terror, the bystanders are drawn like moths to a flame, getting closer to capture footage of this otherworldly spectacle. As you can see, their fascination knows no bounds. It's as if they've stumbled upon a real-life mystery that defies explanation. And speaking of explanations, the local fire department has had their say. They suggested that this astonishing display might have been sparked by an irresponsible smoker casually flicking a lit cigarette butt onto some flammable mulch. Now, while this theory may sound like a most plausible explanation, there's something undeniably mystical about watching a carpet of fire dance and flicker against the darkened night sky. It's a reminder that even in the age of science and reason, the world can still surprise us with its unexplained wonders. So, Ohio's fiery enigma, whether a mere cigarette misadventure or something more, continues to captivate our imagination. Does it captivate yours? Imagine moving through the woods at night and hearing these shrill, scary sounds. In the middle of nowhere, armed with just a camera and a torchlight, the uploader of the footage stands firm despite the unsettling sights and sounds. It's evident he's very far from home, and it's not exactly clear what he's doing in the woods either. But it looks like his life might just be in danger. Despite eerie sounds emanating from the distance and the inky darkness reminiscent of thick smoke from a burning building, the unknown person remains undeterred. The screams intensify in tempo, yet there's no sign of any creature. What could this sound or scream be owned by, and is it a cry for help or a cue for the one recording the footage to skedaddle? The fact that he uploads this shows he was safe, but what do you think is responsible for the sound? An animal, a human, a skinwalker, or a rake? Hit us with your best guesses and reasons in the comments section below. Now for our next capture, you might want to brace yourself because it doesn't look pretty. Before you ask the question, allow me to answer. Yes, that's a deer, and yes, those are growths or warts around its neck. As disturbing as the image is, that's not uncommon for deer in the wild. These growths are known as fibroma or skin tags, and they result from various factors including genetics, insect bites, parasites, and poor nutrition, among others. Despite their appearance, these growths don't pose a significant threat to the deer, although larger ones might cause discomfort for the animal. That doesn't mean to run and apply ointments if you see a deer with one. What you should do is alert local authorities. Local authorities are best equipped to provide assistance. Until then, all we can do is hope and pray that the deer receives the necessary help. We've had cryptids that look like apes, and then some that look like goats, and even dogs, but have you heard of any that look like rabbits? Whatever your answer was, you might want to see this. Yup, that's an actual humanoid with a rabbit head. Yes, an actual humanoid-looking rabbit. We haven't encountered anything like this in all the years of exploring the paranormal. Some members of the team say it looks more like a wolf or fox, and as much as I can see where they're coming from, I stubbornly stick to the rabbit looks. Despite our different stances on what this might be, we all wanted this to be legit. But the more we looked at the picture, the more disappointed we became. In the end, we had to come to terms with the reality. It's a photo of a man in a costume and nothing more. We've no idea if the individual was trying to trick the owner of the Trailcam into believing it was paranormal or if it was accidentally captured by the Trailcam. But assuming this was your trail camera and assuming this was real, how would you have reacted? Tell us in the comments section. The ever-fascinating subject of UFOs. It's a topic that has piqued the curiosity of many and continues to leave us with more questions than answers. Now let's break down this recent sighting. In this footage, we've got vigilant observers who managed to capture not one, not two, but 3 flying objects in the vast expanse of the sky. These mysterious objects are arranged in a precise triangular formation, and their disc-like shape is enough to make anyone raise an eyebrow. After all, when it comes to flying saucers, we all know who might be behind the wheel: the enigmatic aliens. But here's the real kicker. Despite the undeniable presence of these crafts, their pilots remain elusive. It's as if they're playing an intergalactic game of hide-and-seek with us Earthlings. The question on everyone's minds is, when will they finally reveal themselves, or could they already be among us incognito? Think about it. If you're a regular subscriber to this page, then you are no stranger to strange phenomena, conspiracy theories, wild speculations, and even footage of cryptids like Bigfoot, the Rake, or skinwalkers. As intriguing as these creatures are, sometimes there are other things more intriguing than them. Sometimes the intriguing phenomenon is nothing but your everyday primate with a human-like expression, like the one you see in the footage. While it appears to be a typical black primate with regular monkey behavior, its face is the most intriguing aspect. We've all heard the saying, 2 heads are better than 1, but what do you make of a monkey that seems to wear a human-like expression? While this is interesting to see and watch, it makes me wonder if the creature is fine or if it's even accepted by its family. I'm no expert in this field, so I won't pretend to be. Can anyone among you explain what's going on with the monkey's face? If you can, please do so because we'd like to know. We'll be reading the comments. Now, what do we have here? Some possessed insect? Well, that's what I thought when I saw it, but turns out this creature is what we call a wasp-mantid fly. Just imagine a wasp and a praying mantis deciding to have a bizarre love child. That's the wasp-mantid fly for you. It's got the sleek, slender body of a wasp, but those front legs, pure mantis vibes. It looks like the insect world decided to experiment with genetic fusion just to keep things interesting. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. This critter is a bit of a predator with the taste for small insects and larvae. When it's mealtime, it goes all ninja with those mantis-like legs, snatching up its prey with precision. But wait, there's more. The wasp-mantid fly has a neat trick up its sleeve. It's able to mimic the appearance of wasps, rocking the yellow and black colors to confuse both predators and unsuspecting prey. Let's just say that if you lived in the insect world, this would be the last creature you would want to encounter. Is nature now playing magic tricks on us? A man was driving by a field when he noticed something strange. As he looked through his window, he saw a brush burning, so he parked to check it out. But that's where things get odd. When he looked out this time, the fire was gone. When he went back into the car and looked out through his glass window, he noticed the fire. But when he tried to use his naked eyes, there was simply nothing there. I mean, how is this even possible? The thing is, well, we don't know, but even David Blaine could never stop or explain this strange phenomenon. Still on suspected Bigfoot sightings, take a look at this footage taken by a drone scouting the woods. In the enigmatic footage, the spotlight falls on a dark, furred creature, upright and unmistakably bipedal, meandering below. At first glance, it might invoke thoughts of a bear, but let's be real. Real bears don't typically strut around like this unless they're auditioning for a role in a cartoon, which you and I know they don't particularly do in the wild. What sets this creature apart is its long, sinewy limbs. Those proportions simply don't align with the stocky build of a bear. It's these distinct features that have led the owner of this remarkable footage to one bold conclusion. They've just laid eyes on the elusive Bigfoot. Now, whether you're a true believer, an open-minded adventurer, or a skeptic in search of rational explanations, one thing's for certain. Our forests, thick with secrets, continue to tease us with their enigmas. In this video clip, we see a house painted in a yellowish or cream color set against a less than perfectly mowed lawn. The area is well lit with strategically placed lights. At this quiet time of day, nothing seems amiss. However, our assumptions are quickly proven wrong when a shadow suddenly emerges from behind the camera. We notice this presence thanks to the light strategically placed throughout the area. Shortly after it passes, an alarm goes off, signaling a trespasser. This startles the unknown creature, causing it to pause briefly. However, it resumes its movement once the alarm stops. The shadow reveals the immense size of this unknown creature, complete with a slight hunchback and long muscular arms. Despite its size, it moves silently and could have gone unnoticed if not for the alarm. What do you think this ginormosity of a creature is? My bet's on a Bigfoot, but I'd like to hear your thoughts too. Did you catch the deer running past the trail cam? Did you notice anything else? Take another look at the footage. You saw it, didn't you? There was a floating orb just above the deer. It moved with the same speed as the doe and in the same direction, almost as though it was chasing it. While some might dismiss the orb as a camera artifact, our longtime subscribers know that orbs often indicate supernatural activity. The sender of this clip believes it's a ghost. I do see the moving object, but I'm not inclined to make the ghostly association with this particular clip. What about you? We all know that Russians are built differently, but what about their animals? Turns out they're built differently too. Watch this next one. And yes, that's a bear trying to climb a ladder. You don't need to be a genius to know that a bear is trying to climb that ladder to get to the man filming. From the footage, we can see the bear climbing up toward the man who keeps talking or vocalizing, and eventually the bear climbs back down. He's in the clear then, right? Well, no. The bear decides that if it can't climb up to the man, it would bring the man down to it. It starts pulling on the base of the ladder, most likely with hopes of pulling the man down to him. We see it attempt to pull the ladder several times, but unfortunately the video ends before we can witness the outcome. Given the fact that the video was uploaded online, I'd like to believe that the man made it out. What about you? Our next footage is one of the reasons why we shouldn't mess around in the woods. This video was taken by an adventurer who went into the woods at night. I don't know about the reason why he did this, but I'm sure he's never going near the forest for a while. As he was roaming, he caught sight of this hideous creature in the woods. The creature had strange burnt-like skin. Its fingers were clawed and its ears were pointed. I don't know, but if you ask me, it looks like some sort of demonic dwarf. Naturally, our adventurer who saw this creature did not waste any more time there. He left as fast as his tired legs would allow him. I mean, who knows what else was roaming the woods, and who knows what their response to his presence could be. Either way, does any of you know with certainty what this is, or do I need to hit the paranormal books? Imagine buying a pet turtle and coming home one day to see it floating above your tiled floor. What on earth is this, and are animals now learning spells too? If you look closely around its legs, you may see what looks like rags holding them. But look again. Do you see it now? They look like mini humans swimming with it. Are these the beings responsible for the strange things that we are seeing? Or is the turtle their master, and they're simply there to do what it desires? It's hard to say, and we couldn't find anything of this sort in our paranormal books. Can anyone amongst you help us with any explanation? Next, we have another bizarre capture from Lancaster County. Unlike the previous one, however, this is a video and it showcases something that looks more like a mutation than it does a cryptid. Yes, what you are seeing is very real. And yes, that's an actual deer with two noses. A park ranger discovered this unusual footage on a trail cam set up to capture local wildlife. The Trailcam had been successful capturing intriguing videos, and he was anticipating more. What he didn't expect, though, was the confusion upon first sight of this footage. It was mostly because he didn't know what he was looking at. The deer's face appears oddly shaped, with two additional openings. It took him a while, but he soon realized that these weren't openings, they looked like additional noses. The sight was truly bizarre and marked the first time such an occurrence had been captured on video. The ranger was highly convinced he was dealing with a mutated deer, but some experts who reviewed the case believe it could have resulted from injury. What do you think? Next, we have trail cam capture from an individual who seems to really have captured something bizarre. He claims it's a dog man, but let's judge that claim for ourselves. Did you see the creature he was referring to, or did the footage simply leave you confused? In the footage, we see what appears to be the outdoors with a lot of grass and some items there. Might be the backyard of someone's home, but it's hard to say. The individual recording the footage, however, is seemingly perplexed and, I dare say, even scared. He points the camera in the direction of whatever is giving him the scares, but his shaky hands make it hard to see. We slowed down the footage in an attempt to catch what the whole thing was about, and guess what we saw. There is a creature with dark fur in the slowed down footage. It stares at the man and then stares away, remaining perfectly still. It's almost as though it was trying its best to avoid being seen. Is it a dog man, though? Personally, I don't think so. It might be a man in a suit or a different kind of cryptid. What do you think? The Trailcam owner was startled when he came across an image on his device. Not knowing what it was, he posted the image to Facebook, hoping to get the opinion of others. The picture in question is this image that you see on your screen. You can see a dog-like creature standing on its two legs. The creature had a pair of eerily glowing eyes and was staring straight into the camera. Facebook users were left with a flood of theories on what this could be. While others held the notion that it was a dog man, others said this could be a possessed canine, and some truly believed it was a goblin of sorts. So what do you guys also think this is? Oh my goodness, humanity is doomed. Just take a look at this footage. If you've not seen the movie Life, then you'll not understand why I'm panicking. This dark mass attempting to swallow the crab, and it reminds me of Calvin from the movie. I mean, it just looks the same. Fingers crossed that it's just a case of internet trickery, because if not, we might be looking at a real-life remake of Life, and that's a horror scenario none of us have signed up for. Naturally, I did some digging around and discovered that there's a possibility of it being a marine flatworm. If you don't know anything about these creatures, perhaps you may want to go back and look them up now before you find yourself exclaiming, "We are Venom!" On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. Please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. This next footage was captured by a trail cam that was supposed to be well hidden from wildlife, but for some reason, one creature was able to sniff it out. And guess what? It didn't exactly look natural. Take a look. Do you see it? We've seen lots of wolves on this channel, and believe me when I tell you, they typically don't look like that. If you pay attention to the footage, you'll realize that the creature almost looks humanoid. It appears to be bipedal with shoulders et al. You and I know wolves are quadrupeds, which means they walk on four legs. This makes us believe that we could be dealing with a werewolf or something along those lines. What do you think, though? Do you see what I'm seeing, or am I simply reading too much into a simple capture? Now you must be wondering, is that real or is it CGI? If it's real, is it alien? Well, no, it's not. It's an actual frog. The purple frog, scientifically known as Nasica siadrensis, is indeed a fascinating and peculiar creature. This species of frog is native to the Western Ghats in India, a region known for its rich biodiversity. The purple frog gets its name from its unique appearance. It has a purplish-brown colorization and a distinctive, somewhat bulbous body shape. What makes the purple frog particularly interesting is its unusual lifestyle. It spends most of its life underground, surfacing only during the monsoon season for a short period to breed. It has specialized adaptations for subterranean life, including a snout-like nose that helps it burrow in the soil. These frogs are considered living fossils because they represent an ancient lineage of frogs that has been around for a very long time. Everything they say rises and falls with leadership, and looking at our next footage, I must say I believe it. In the footage, we see a pack of wolves seemingly going about their normal, everyday business when the one leading the pack suddenly stops and alerts them to danger, asking them to move. Given the fact that she stared in the direction of the camera, the uploader believes she noticed the unfamiliar artifact in their environment and doubted it was safe. See how she gets the rest of the pack to scatter and leave, with the exception of that last one who comes back to see if there was really any danger at all. I guess there's always going to be that odd, weird one, even in the animal kingdom. But we've been wondering, how did she detect the camera? Could it be because of the scent, or does the Trailcam act in a way that allows wolves to detect them? Could the experienced ones help us with an explanation? We'd be reading the comments to see, as we really want to know. Would a bear attack a trail camera? Before you answer, watch this. While I know it looks like the bear was attacking the trail camera, what if I told you that it wasn't? If you pay attention to the video, you'd realize that the bear was going through some container until it abruptly stopped and then bolted out of the place. Putting on our Sherlock Holmes hats, we can deduce that the bear was probably going through those containers in search for food. Perhaps the containers were storing food items and the bear was simply drawn there by its scent. It might have heard people in the process and then tried to leave. Yes, keep applauding. I know I have decoded the scene, but what do you do when you live in a bear country and need to store food items outside? Well, you use a bear box. If you're wondering what that is, it's a metal container designed to store food and scented items in bear countries, with the means of preventing the bears from accessing its contents and reducing the risk of human-bear conflicts. You can imagine what could have happened if the bear decided to go after the humans that disturbed it. It could have been tragic. If you're watching this video and live in a bear country and do not own one, you better pause the video, order yourself one, and then come back to it. I'm watching you. If you own one, just write "own one" in the comments section. If you ordered, just write "ordered one" in the comments section. I will be watching. Hunting is a profession that's definitely not for the faint of heart. Not only is it dangerous, but more often than not, they encounter things they can't explain. This clip is one of such encounters, but fortunately for us, the hunter had a camera on him. Now, the hunter recording is hidden in a hunter's blind, which is a setup used by hunters to hide from wild animals. This means that although the creature we are seeing is merely 20 feet from him, the hunter is camouflaged. As you can see, this creature, however, possesses higher intelligence than your average animal, as he spotted the blind and is trying to be careful. It has fur all around, and if you didn't know any better, you'd say it's an ape. But when you look closer, you realize it's not. It seems to possess human-like capabilities, yet has the fur of, say, an ape or a bear. It didn't take too long for the paranormal community to declare this as a Bigfoot once the footage was uploaded. Take a look at the footage. I can't help but agree. This is certainly one of the clearest and most up-close footage of Bigfoot that we have ever had on this channel. But is it authentic? Is it real? None can 100% confirm it, but I'm willing to take a leap of faith. What about you? A walk in these woods with your child can be a peaceful and picturesque experience, but when your child's gaze fixates on something that makes your heart race, it's a moment that's sure to leave you scared for life. That's the unfortunate reality of these individuals in our next clip. Take a look. As the camera is turned toward the direction of your child's fascination, the footage reveals a figure among the trees. Upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that this is no ordinary woodland encounter. The creature appears to be a humanoid figure shrouded in cloth like a mummy, a sight that's unsettling and haunting. They hope that this might be some sort of Halloween prank, but this wasn't taken during Halloween. They walk away from the incident unscathed, but scarred for life. The woods seem to get more dangerous as the days go by, and even hiking alone has become a problem. I know you would be wondering why I'm saying that. To answer, let's take a look at this next clip. Out in the woods, a hiker found himself lost and trying to navigate his way back when he noticed something approaching. Assuming it was a panther, he decided to hide. However, as the creature drew nearer, it turned out to be something even more perplexing. The creature had a face that resembled a dog, a long snout and dark fur. What made it peculiar was its posture. It was standing on its hind legs. Lucky it seemed preoccupied and didn't notice the hiker just a few steps away. What type of creature could that be? Naturally, a dog, man, or a werewolf comes to mind. This fortunate hiker went out innocently for a walk, but for his keen observation skills, he would never have returned home. And that leaves us asking one simple question. Are we not safe hiking anymore? This diver just looked at death in the face, and I mean literally. She had strapped on her diving suit and was a second away from jumping into the sea when she spotted a huge creature emerging from the water. She backed down and moved backwards, only to see a huge shark with its mouth wide open waiting for her to jump right in. Thankfully, quick thinking and a sixth sense saved her from going on an involuntary shark date. It's like a real-life thriller, the diver who dodged Jaws. Note to self, sometimes it's okay to bail on that daring dive if your gut says, no, well, yeah, maybe not today. Sometimes reality can be so bewildering that it seems to validate our wildest imaginations. In this peculiar footage, the scene is reminiscent of a simple stick figure drawing we've all created. A slender figure, almost like a living stick figure, is captured on a snowy path in the dead of night. The image is surreal, as if someone's childhood sketch has come to life. The figure's upper part is shrouded in darkness, adding an extra layer of mystique. But what's undeniable are the long, spindly legs moving with an otherworldly grace. Could it be a trick of the light, a creature unknown to science, or just a clever optical illusion? The mystery persists, much like those stick figures we used to draw as kids. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. So please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Hikers often come across some of the most breathtaking and mysterious sights in the great outdoors, and spotting a creature on the mountain is an experience that can leave anyone spellbound. In this case, the hiker caught sight of a creature that bore a resemblance to the legendary Bigfoot, but the footage was captured at a distance and wasn't clear enough for a definitive identification. The only way for someone to stand out from that far out was for it to be considerably large. Given that this was captured on a mountain with what looks like fur in its body, we can only assume that's a Bigfoot. If you think otherwise, I'd love to hear your thoughts. While the previous footage may not have exactly scared you out of your chair, this next one might do the trick. Watch. The footage starts off with a man driving what looks like a quad bike through the woods. It turns out the trail he's on is designated for ATVs, considered safe for off-road vehicles, quad bikes, dirt bikes, and similar vehicles. But what is it, though? Well, the rider found out the hard way it was not. Suddenly, his ride was interrupted by a wire fixed at neck height. Luckily for him, he had his helmet on, and that's what made contact with the wire. Given the speed at which he was riding, it pushed his head back with great force. But what if he was not wearing a helmet? What if it had made contact with his neck? What if he was on an actual bike? Would he have survived? I don't think so. But who would set up a wire on such track? Why, and who was the target? Was it an attempt at murder or something meant to create a freak accident? I don't know about you, but if I were him, I would definitely not trust that track again or any track in that area whatsoever. Next, we have this beautiful capture that brought tears to my eyes. And yes, that's an exaggeration, but the beauty of the picture isn't. Have a look. That's a beautiful doe moving through the water. Whoever placed this trail cam where it's positioned definitely knew what they were doing. It's not every day you see a beautiful capture. For those who didn't know, deers are impressive swimmers. They got great legs. Wait, did I say great? I meant strong legs with a natural buoyancy that allows them to float. Yeah, despite their skill, their body allows them to stay afloat. If they had webbed feet, we'd definitely call them water animals. Either way, that's a great capture. I have a question though. Do you think the water is splashing in the right direction, or am I simply trying to see things that aren't there? Share your thoughts in the comments section. YouTube drones have opened up a whole new realm of possibilities for exploration and discovery, and occasionally they capture something truly intriguing. In this instance, as a drone was surveying a property, it stumbled upon a creature moving below. The creature's appearance was remarkably human, but its size and the presence of dark fur led everyone who saw it to believe that they had encountered a Bigfoot. While skepticism and debates surround the existence of Bigfoot, these encounters continue to fuel the mystery and fascination surrounding this cryptid. Here we have a classic case of something that could easily be mistaken for a paranormal encounter in the woods. In this piece of disturbing footage, we see a creature which appears to be slender and tall moving through the woods. The footage appears to have been taken from a window, which means it was taken closer to civilization. Could this be the slender man we've always heard about? Could its true form be what we are seeing, or is this simply another entity altogether? It's hard for us to say, but do tell us what you think. Once again, we're faced with a spectacle that leaves us questioning Mother Nature. A boat that set sail to catch fish came across a mysterious passenger. This invited passenger came disguised as a catfish, but when one of the men aboard went poking at it, this so-called catfish, instead of fins, had crab claws. Realizing this is not a typical member of the ocean dwellers, the man decided to push the fish back into the water. But it looked like it actually enjoyed being out of the water and wanted to teach the man a lesson or two before going back. Now the question is, what type of fish are we dealing with here? I mean, it's not every day you see a fish with crab claws for fins, so how is this even possible? Unless this is a species on its own, or a mudfish and a crab interbred, I don't know what the logical explanation for this could be. Do you? A man captured something strange going on outside his house on his security camera. It all began when he spotted a dark figure standing in the middle of the road opposite his house. This dark figure looks like a person on a black road. As this stranger stood there facing the house, a car light began to reflect, indicating that a car was approaching. Naturally, he expected the strange person to get off the road, but the person just stood there unmoving until something bizarre happened. The car passed right through it, making the homeowner alarmed. However, the dark figure was still in place. Disturbed by what he'd seen, the homeowner came out to see for himself, which he figured was still there. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, as soon as he steps out, the entity disappears. If it had not been caught on camera, no one would believe him. A sighting of an otherworldly-looking creature in the woods is bound to pique anyone's curiosity and raise questions about the mysteries of the natural world. In this instance, the creature sports a striking appearance that's nothing short of alien. I mean, it's barely visible in the bushes, but looking closely, you can see it. Its eyes betray it with an eerie glow that makes it impossible to not spot it. Despite spotting a face and eyes, we still can't see the creature. Does anyone know what this is? Could it be a known wild animal, or is this truly an otherworldly and extraterrestrial encounter? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. The allure of the unknown and the mysterious can sometimes lead to fascinating tales and unexpected discoveries. In the case of the Costa Rican fishermen back in 2011, their encounter with a peculiar sea creature must have been a thrilling experience. The creature's strange movements in the sea and its unfamiliar appearance sparked their curiosity, leading them to capture and bring it home to share their discoveries with others. It's not uncommon for such encounters to evoke thoughts of aliens or paranormal creatures, especially when faced with something entirely out of the realm of one's usual experiences. I dug deeper concerning this story and found many sources calling it a hoax, because the website that posted it had disappeared and the individual is also nowhere to be found. Given this circumstance, they concluded that the story was made up and that they probably altered an image of a stingray. What if that's not the situation, though? What if he found something and was captured to keep him silent? I guess we'll never know.
Look at that.
This man was out looking at the night sky when he noticed something odd with what he thought to be a star. Among all the stars in the sky, one shines brighter and hovers out rather quickly. If you know anything about stars, you know that that's not how they behave. As the video continues, this bright thing moves back and forth across the sky. It settles and finally disappears. It's unlike anything they've ever seen before.
I don't even know what to think about this.
Many who saw it don't think it's a star at all. They think we may be dealing with a spaceship. Personally, I prefer that to the other theories, such as it being a drone. But what about you guys? What comes to mind?
I've been looking out for it for a while.
During this gathering, a small and unusual creature was present, unbeknownst to most of the attendees. The creature had striking animalistic features, particularly noticeable in its ears and face, which stood out from the typical appearance of cats or dogs. It was not a common pet, nor did it resemble a rag. A young girl who stumbled upon the creature identified it as a duende, a mythical creature from Latin American folklore. Despite the excitement surrounding the gathering, the creature remained unperturbed, sitting silently and calmly, observing the contestants as they prepared to swim. What do you think it was doing there? What would you have done if you were the one who'd noticed it? Let us know in the comments section. Have you ever wondered what Bigfoot sounded like? Does it speak intelligibly? If it does it sound Irish, British, or perhaps even Italian? These questions have plagued my mind for a long time, and this next footage is perhaps an answer to that.
What the fuck is that noise?
Did you hear that? The uploader of the footage states that they are Bigfoot vocalizations from the area where he lives. Bigfoot sightings have been regular there, and if anything, the sightings have increased. They hear these vocalizations. While this is certainly not what I expected, it's certainly an answer. One question still remains. Is this authentic? If it is this the only sound they actually make, or is there more? Nighttime intruders can be a cause for alarm and uncertainty, especially when they take on a strange and unsettling appearance. In this case, a homeowner was awakened by the sound of his dog barking and scratching at the door. Investigating the commotion, he was confronted with an unusual creature peering through the glass window. a sight like nothing he had ever seen before. What could this thing be? As far as he could tell, it looked like a canine, but with markings on its face that he'd never seen before. He uploaded the footage online, and the community has been divided about it. That doesn't help the owner, as encounters like these can be deeply disconcerting, leaving the observer with more questions than answers. In this case, there's also a concern for safety because his dog is scared of the creature and only barks from afar when the animal visits. Can anyone help? A man who had set up his Trailcam overnight to capture wildlife went to review the footage his cam had captured and was greeted with a capture that had humans instead of animals. Take a look. The footage starts off with two men walking into the woods, after which they are joined by a third. These men look like they mean business given how they're moving with purpose and seriousness. The flash lamps they carry in their hands give off the vibe that they may be searching for something, but what exactly? This is where it gets interesting. We don't have to wait too long for our answer because within a few minutes they return from the woods dragging along a younger male. The first question that came to mind was, are they kidnapping him? I mean, you can never be too sure of late, right? The truth, however, turns out to be less sinister than that. The young man we see in the footage got drunk and went into the woods where he got lost. These men simply went out to look for him, and fortunately, they found him. They basically saved his life, and it was captured on tape. Interesting, right? Yes, you're seeing it right. A humanoid creature with a head that's a mix of a kangaroo or maybe a dog. It also appears to be going after whoever is holding the camera we see in the shot. While we've showcased weird and disturbing footage on this channel before, nothing compares to what we have in store today. Despite the uploader's silence, it's evidence from the capture that this creature gave the cameraman and crew the scare of a lifetime. Now, let's talk about the creature in question. Does it remind you of any cryptids? If you thought of the Dogman, you're on the right track. However, unlike Bigfoot and other cryptids, information about the Dogman is scarce. This makes it difficult to tell if it's truly the Dogman or some unknown kind of cryptid. There's, however, a third possibility, that the whole thing is a fake and the uploader is peddling us nothing but lies. But what do you think, though? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd really love to hear them. Now that's a wild wake-up call. Imagine unzipping your tent all ready to face the day, and boom. There's a deer right there giving you the morning stare down. This camper had the experience and didn't have to imagine it. Lucky guy. It's almost like Mr. Deer there is his campsite guardian waiting for him to join the great outdoors. What do you think of it? Spooky or cute? Imagine being on a railway track and having a creature show up on it and refuse to move. This is what happened to these Russians who were simply going about their daily activities. We're not sure why the moose got on the track or why it's even refusing to move despite the loud horns, but you can't deny the fact that it's cute. If you were the one in charge of the train, what would you have done? Would you have been as patient as the ones in this footage, or would you have done something else? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Next is another image we're trying so hard to wrap our heads around. You know what? Just take a look for yourselves. Yeah, that was apparently captured on a trail cam set up in the woods. The owner of the trail cam initially thought his friends were pranking him, but after checking with everyone, he realized they knew nothing about it. So then, what is this thing? We can't say for certain. It seems to have a human body with a head resembling some pig-like creature. Imagining such a creature brings to mind Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this is happening in real life. Critically looking at the image once more, a part of me wants to believe that this is nothing more than a man in a mask. I know I sound like the paranormal critic today, but, well, look at it. What other explanation could there be for this? Still on canine creatures, we move to southern Texas for our next clip. Have a look. The creature you see on your screen was captured by a couple while they were out exploring the woods. While we're unsure of how they managed to catch it, one thing is certain. When they captured the creature, they found it far from normal looking. They compared it to all the local species of small animals in the neighborhood, but the creature was just too different from all of them. Even the local dogs in the area. Being believers in the paranormal, they started to believe that they may have actually caught the legendary chupacabra. As we watch the footage, it's easy to see why they might have thought that. The creature looks like a mangy dog, and many descriptions of the chupacabra mention a hairless canine creature that drinks blood and fluids from its animal victims. While the animal fits the bill, it does seem a bit small for that description. Beyond that, it doesn't look like that thing consumes blood, as it was being fed powdery feed, which I'm pretty sure it consumed. But if it's not a chupacabra, what then is it? Or am I the one being too bad a skeptic? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Still on Bigfoot, we travel all the way to snowy Russia for our next footage. Take a look. Now, you may not understand what's happening, but the recorder of the footage decided to embark on a journey into the snowy night to prove to everyone that the Bigfoot that they had apparently been seeing was nothing more than a hoax. Once out there, however, he started to notice these strange prints in the snow. Although skeptical, he started to record just in case there was a Bigfoot, and that's exactly what he found. Some 2 kilometers from him, he saw a creature moving. Zooming in, he recorded what you see on your screen, but of course it's blurry due to how zoomed in the footage is. He truly believes he encountered a Bigfoot. Some have called the whole thing a hoax, stating that they couldn't understand how the first footage was as clear as day and the last one was as blurry as the dark night. Quite frankly, I know zooming in could do that to footage, but perhaps that's a convenient way to explain a hoax. What do you think? Did this Russian really encounter a Bigfoot, or is he playing mind games? Venturing into an abandoned cave can indeed unleash surprises, and it sounds like this couple got more than they bargained for. They were on a hike in the mountains when they heard a noise coming from the cave nearby. Now, most folks call it a day, but not these two. They decide to soldier on. As they went further into the cave, the noise strangely stopped, but they still decided to check it out, and what they saw scared them out of the place. There, emerging from the darkness of the cave, was a creature with glowing eyes. It was very slender and tall and made a strange ticking sound. What could they have seen in the cave? Logically, there could be several explanations. It might be a creature native to the cave, perhaps a type of animal adapted to low-light conditions. Looking at its features, however, I'm pretty sure it's something sinister. Mysterious Trailcam images like these can indeed boggle the mind and stir the imagination. In the first image, we're presented with a worm-like creature featuring an eerie human arm, which is truly grotesque and an unsettling sight. The creature resembles a fleshy blob that seems more at home in a sci-fi horror movie than in the depths of the wilderness. In the subsequent image, we encounter a creature that bears some similarities, but with an added eerie twist. This time, it sports 2 large fangs protruding from its mouth, along with a set of razor-sharp teeth. The contrast between the 2 images is enough to leave anyone pondering the nature of these mysterious creatures. Are they the result of some natural anomaly? Are we dealing with an optical illusion or a prankster's creation? Whatever the case is, these Trailcam images are unsettling, and I pray no one has to encounter creatures such as these. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode, a possible rake sighting is certainly an intriguing and spine-tingling prospect. In the heart of the night, a peculiar creature is discovered perched on a wooden structure within a field. The creature is characterized by its glowing eyes and a body that appears eerily human and crouched. This unsettling presence sits atop the structure for a time, an eerie silhouette against the darkness. Then, with an almost supernatural grace, it jumps off and vanishes into the obscurity of the night. Whether this is indeed a sighting of a rake or something else entirely remains a mystery, but it's an encounter that tantalizes the imagination, does it not? If you didn't think Bigfoot or the Sasquatch was real, perhaps this next footage might change your mind. Enjoy. Once the footage starts, we're introduced to a crime scene. In a second or two, we see something dark, furry, and tall move in the background. Enter our Bigfoot. At this point, any skeptic might think that it's nothing more than a man in a costume. If you're one of those, you're forgiven. The creature moving in the background then easily picks up a tree and then hits the ground or another tree with it. Not particularly sure what it's doing, but you have to admit that it takes some strength and power to pull that off, and no man can do that. If you're a skeptic, what do you have to say for yourself after seeing this clip? A man went out in the snow with his dog just to enjoy the winter. Suddenly, a wild moose appears. Now, most people would think, oh, well, it's just a moose. They're chill, right? Well, not this one. The moose decides to go full-on sprint mode toward the guy. Probably upset about something. Luckily, he moved out of the way. From what we can tell, this moose is not a morning person. The dog, on the other hand, seems to have a lot of energy because it starts to bark at the huge moose in an attempt to save its owner. Luckily, the moose did not attack any further, and the man called his dog, and both retreated to the comfort of their home. The rate at which mythical creatures are making an appearance these days is alarming. In this footage, a man filmed two men in yellow protective gear from head to toe coming toward a river. The men were holding a net, but their attire was not something you would wear to a fishing trip unless something fishy was going on. So the person filming hid himself as he watched the men walk into the shallow part of the water to retrieve something. They caught it in the net and brought it to land. As they put the creature down, something curious happened. A long fishtail resembling that of a stereotypical mermaid fell down. Did these men just catch a mermaid? Looking at the color of its tail, I'm tempted to ask, what if the creature and things we saw in The Little Mermaid are not as unreal as we think they are? What if these creatures are actually out there and a danger to us? Whilst we try to find answers to the previous footage, I believe that the next footage will leave your jaw dropping to the ground, and I mean literally. A person found these strange things floating around his brother's house. They looked like smoke, but they were oddly luminous and in weird shapes. The thing, however, is that they seemed like they were frozen in time, and you and I know that's not how smoke looks or functions. According to him, they suddenly appeared in the house. When you study the footage, there's no justification for something like that existing. The man swears it's not a hoax and certainly not CGI because they don't have the expertise, skills, or money for that. So what do you think we're dealing with here? This person was driving on the road in the middle of the night when he came across this in the sky. You see it, don't you? A strange person floating in the sky. Is it human, though? I mean, it's hard to tell since whatever it is has a robe on. I have my theories on what this might be, but looking at it, what do you see? Tell us in the comments section. Have you seen a ladder take a walk? Well, if you haven't, today's your lucky day. Take a look. Yup, that's a ladder walking away. At some point, my assistant thought it was just the wind, but the wind won't move it in the way it did unless there was some invisible person working it out. We slowed the footage to try and see if there was any strings attached to any of the legs, but we couldn't find any convincing patterns that would establish it. We were left to accept that the ladder is indeed walking. How is it doing that? Well, we wish we knew. Perhaps some things are best left a mystery. If I didn't know any better, I would assume that this is a seal chewing gum, but it's an actual species of seal called the hooded seal. Hooded seals are indeed a fascinating and unique species, known for their distinct nasal hood that males can inflate and the striking appearance it gives them. Comparing one to a seal chewing gum is a whimsical and creative way to describe their appearance. These seals are well adapted to their cold and challenging environments, primarily found in the Arctic and North Atlantic. While they may not be engaging in chewing gum, their behavior and features are captivating in their own right. Hooded seals are skilled swimmers, spending much of their lives in the ocean and occasionally coming ashore for breeding and molting. Seen one? Tell us your experience. Encounters with creatures like Bigfoot are the stuff of legends and campfire tales, but for one man in Tennessee, it became a very real and unforgettable experience. It all began with strange vocalizations echoing through the lush green lands, a haunting combination of howls and growls. Intrigued, the man decided to follow the eerie sounds. His journey led him to a set of enormous footprints in the mud, tracks that were far too large to belong to a human. The discovery added an extra layer of mystery and intrigue to the situation. As he was inspecting the prints, the man's heart must have raced when he heard rustling leaves in the brush ahead. He turned to find himself face to face with a peeking Bigfoot. The creature stared at him, a moment frozen in time before vanishing into the woods. Have you ever seen a sewer cover dance? If you answered no, then boy, are you in luck. Enjoy. This footage was captured by a man who noticed a sewer cover dancing. It's not a waltz or anything remotely close, but how else do you describe this? There was no one around, no indication of a rope attached to it, which makes the whole thing strange. The man decided to film it, but I'm starting to believe that there are some invisible and invincible entities messing with us humans for entertainment. What do you think? Our next footage is one of the reasons why people believe that we are indeed in a matrix. A lighter was put on a table by a wall. The fire was lit, but when you looked at the wall, there was something strange going on. The shadow of the lighter was showing on the wall, but the fire was not. There could be a few explanations for such an occurrence. One possibility is that the lighting conditions and the camera angle created a situation where the shadow was more prominent than the flame itself. Shadows can sometimes be more defined depending on the light source and the angle. What are your thoughts? Now here's an unusual and amusing scene. Someone is cooking a pot of crab, yet this particular crab seems remarkably unbothered by the boiling water. Instead, the crab is contentedly munching on what looks like a potato. The crab's calm demeanor is almost surreal, as if it's aware of its impending fate but's more interested in the potato. With surprising skill and determination, it grabs the potato with its claws and begins tearing into it, displaying a deliberate and focused manner. This odd behavior makes one wonder about the crab's instincts and reactions. Is it simply unaware of the danger, or is this an extraordinary example of an animal behaving in an unexpectedly composed way? What do you think about this peculiar scenario? And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and we'll see you in the next one.